Hey, welcome back to the Break Room Podcast. And we have a special guest this week, my comedy partner and real life friend, and the real life Lois Griffin to my real life Peter Griffin, Mandy Katana.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome
What's
to the
up?
show.
Hi guys.
What's happening? Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Congratulations on a year show.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
thanks
saw
so
when you
much.
guys first started. I was like, I ain't gonna fuck with them. Now I'm like, oh, can I play?
Hey.
Now we're
Congratulations.
pros.
Now you guys are like legit. So I'm like, all right, I guess.
And another guest, my little
Hey,
furry
hard
son.
work pays off.
We've got Joey Katana,
He's back.
who has over 2,000 followers on Instagram. Of
Yeah,
his
he
own.
doesn't follow me. I'm
Jedi
blessed.
Good
Master.
boy.
Yeah.
Jedi Master.
Good boy. He's the Grogu to the Mandalorian over here. Jogu,
This is
as
the
we
way.
call him. Yeah.
This is the
This
way.
is the way, man. The
This is
universe
the
has
way.
variants.
Well, before we get into Star Wars, we're wearing our Super Mario and Luigi hats because we did get to go
Guys
see
saw, right?
the Super Mario Brothers movie. And I thought it was fantastic, chock full of Easter eggs. I mean, like right from the beginning, it's like, oh shit, they're in like a Punch-Out bar with all pictures of all the boxers from Punch-Out. They even had the ducks from Duck Hunt on the wall. I mean,
All the dope
the
Nintendo
little, you know, like even the character that Sebastian Maniscalco voices, I think his name is Ralph. He's the bully in the Wrecking Crew game, which Mario is also in. So, like,
shit.
all of these characters have significance to the lore of Super Mario, except that they actually added an extended family because, you know, they made references to Papa and Mama Mario and like comics and stuff like that, but they
Really?
never had like cousins and, you know,
Now they're gonna
Really?
try.
Other
Yeah, they're gonna
brothers
try
and
to
stuff.
grow. it
I'm
into the
curious. They really
universe.
could go. There's so many family members that they could do in the Mario world that they've only ever done Mario and Luigi. really.
exactly. It's only been Mario and
I
Luigi.
mean,
all
what is
these
Wario
years.
anyway? Do we know Wario's backstory? Like, why is he a
personally
fucking?
don't, but I think he's somebody that's like jealous of Mario or something like that. So he
Hater.
like steals his aesthetic, and then while Luigi's like the same shtick with Luigi, you know, all these characters have backstories. I haven't played all of the Nintendo games, especially the Wario games. They were
God,
ones
no.
that I never got. I always got the Mario Brothers games. You know, we never
Yeah,
really
yeah, of course.
deviated from the main titles. You know, and it'll be interesting to know Wario's story. And I believe it was Jack Black that said he wants Pedro Pascal to voice
I was just gonna
Wario,
bring
which
that
would
up.
be
That's right.
Yeah, that'd be a good casting.
fantastic.
Yeah,
That
he's
would
got
be
the
amazing.
The Dornish. We
Wow,
opened
very
Dornish
Dornish.
doors for you.
Yeah.
Pedro's everywhere, man. He's
Pedro
been
has been
crushing
killing
This
it,
is
man.
year
This is
of
the year of Pedro
Pascal.
Pascal. Fucking A.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's got The Last of Us. He's got the Mandalorian.
Mando.
He's fucking,
Hey.
he's really,
Yeah,
He's been in
I don't
everything
wanna-
great.
I don't want to jump ahead, but I didn't get to see the movie yet. But I know it's made a boatload. It's made like $700 million.
Yeah.
oh,
That's all
with Nicolas Cage.
No, I'm just
No,
saying
the
Super
Mario movie.
Mario movie.
I,
Mario
I didn't
movie.
see the Mario movie either.
All right, hold on. We got to establish this. You just kind of emphasize it. Is it Mario? What do we think?
Mario. I always said
Mario.
Mario. My family always said
Mario.
Mario.
Listen,
Everybody
Say
that's a purist will say
io
it's Mario.
parlo
but they
italiano,
say it in
un poco
Italian.
italiano.
It's a
Okay.
Mario.
Yeah, no, no.
that's
It's Mario.
no.
Figures I have, no, I'm the worst Italian ever. I have to like learn Italian from Mario and Luigi. That's the most Italian I got, you know. So I mean, not knowing the backstory, it was nice to see
But
that
I'm
they were
also
like
Italian
human.
American.
You know?
I don't
That's-
speak
yeah,
Italian,
that's-
so
They're building it out. You know, he
Yeah,
started
no,
as
it was
a
really
little,
fun.
little pixel plumber guy, and now he's full fledged.
Blah.
He's got his own universe, and they're gonna kick off the Mario universe.
Maybe
it
we'll
looks like.
really hit like a Super Smash Brothers style movie where they bring together all the animated
man.
characters. I mean, we've had Detective Pikachu, we've had the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Now we've had
Yeah,
Super
yeah, they're
Mario
gonna
Brothers.
success that.
They also had Donkey Kong in the movie, so that scratches another person
Didn't
off
they?
the list.
Didn't they have a?
Maybe we'll see a Kirby
Pac-Man
movie down the
movie too?
line.
Didn't they have a Pac-Man movie too?
Pac-Man.
I think they had a Pac-Man
They
movie.
might have.
Shit, probably.
They may
At
Right
this
have.
up there
point-
with Tornado Shark and shit.
Or either that or
At
it's
this
an
point, they're
episode of
gonna do it,
Futurama.
since you just said
Something
it.
like that.
They
I think
did
they had a
Tetris
Pac-Man movie.
but it wasn't about the Tetris piece.
I don't know.
Tetris movie, but it's not.
As
about
long
the
as it
Tetris
makes money,
box,
they're
like
not
you
going to
said,
stop
yeah.
making these things. But at least they're making them well. I thought the movie was like visually.
How did you like his voice?
I thought it was
Mario.
all right, you know, because honestly, if you're gonna watch a movie for an hour and a half, do you really want to hear "Hoo hoo, Misa Mario"? You know, and
Yes.
it's like it's gonna
The
kind of
sprites.
it's gonna get old after a while.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's really where they came from when they decided to change it. And it's like
I would love to hear Chris Pratt's first audition for it and how bad.
I heard
it
that
is.
it was sounded like Tony Soprano.
Oh,
I
I
heard
would
they,
love to fucking
they went
hear
on
that.
record to say that it sounded like Tony, and they had to kind of like coach him on like how to do him. You know, non-offensive Mario.
Yeah, not a
Culturally
stereotypical.
offensive. Oh, that's fucking great.
So you
No,
liked
but
his voice? Wait, we didn't land
enjoyed it.
on.
I think Jack Black killed it as fucking Bowser.
Oh, yeah.
He's the best.
He's
Jack
always.
Black's
Peaches,
just
peaches,
nuts.
peaches, 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 peaches.
I can't believe it's up.
peaches,
Billboard
No, he
100.
deserves this though. With all the songs that he's made with
Yeah.
Tenacious D
Right.
and all those silly songs, and as a comedian that make silly
Yeah.
songs,
He's
they
built
should
right
be.
up his
You know,
alley.
just because it's not serious or whatever doesn't mean it shouldn't be nominated for a fucking good song.
Absolutely.
And he deserves this. He's been like under the radar, for a while. I mean,
Jack
not
Black's composed music since he was a kid.
exactly. And
Before he was an actor or anything.
Everyone knows that video of him like playing that fake saxophone on like
Oh yeah.
Late
The
night
toy
with
saxophone,
Jimmy, whatever.
That shit was
Yeah.
great.
and he kills it.
Oh, he kills
it. He
everything.
makes like
yeah,
a whole
No, I like people that are
performance out of it.
talented
Tropic
on top
Thunder,
of like
he was
skill.
fucking hysterical.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
like you go like, oh, I wish I could play an instrument. No, you don't. That shit's hard. You have to stretch your fingers. You have to do the things. You can have all the talent
That's
you
a
want,
practice.
but it takes work. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Remember those
It's
jelly
too much
beans
work.
I was
So I'm
eating?
like, fuck it.
They weren't jelly beans.
Wait,
man.
so what is it? Is it Mario? What do you think, Vin? Is it Mario or Mario?
I think the
Mario,
official
it's
name is
Mario.
Mario. I'm
Ah.
going
It's
to keep
Mario.
saying Mario.
It's
'cause
Mario.
It's
Italians
Mario.
don't
Mario.
say ma. It's
If you're
Mario.
From, I don't know. Maybe if you're from
Mario.
Brooklyn.
Io sono
If
Mario.
you're from Brooklyn, it's fucking Mario.
I like
It's
that
from
part
Mario.
though. I love all the backstory from Brooklyn though. It's like I'm from New Mexico, and then now that I've been in New York for 10 years, seeing all the backstory with Mario in like Brooklyn, and like how they're just trying to run a business and they're like all cool, and then his family's roasting him. It just brought a lot of humanity to a video game character that I really enjoyed, especially having the experience now with Italians in Brooklyn.
And what's really funny is that Mario's mother reminded me of my own mother. So and my brother and I were always Mario.
Oh,
and
so they
Luigi
do show
growing
his
up.
mom.
Yeah, they show the mom, or
I-
we assume it's the mom.
I wish I
right?
could have seen the movie with my brother.
Yeah, they
It's just timeline. We couldn't sync it up. But my brother did get to take my niece, and they loved the movie. So,
Nice.
but yeah, it was a 10 out of 10. They really knocked it out of the park. I'm happy that
It's like one of
that-
the most
I
profitable
wanted it
movies
to be
ever.
successful.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, well, video games, they're gonna fuck it up and this and that. No, give the shit a shot. It's a property that's near and dear to my heart, and if they knock it out of the park, I'm willing to have more to the Mario lore.
we
And
talked
they've
about-
changed things here and there, like stars are all over the place in the original game, but it seems like they're more of a commodity and rare commodity in the movie universe. That there's just one star.
And not even just more Mario, more Luigi. I think like that opens up for like the
That was
Luigi
Charlie Day.
Mansion and
Right.
his little branch off, franchise. Because there was a big part of the movie where I was like, wait, where's Luigi? Because he was gone for so long, and then it was fun to like see the two different
okay.
experiences. Like, yeah, we both went to the Mushroom Kingdom, but it was two completely different experiences.
Oh, real? Oh, okay.
Because he was captured, so like we didn't get a lot of like Luigi time.
Gotcha.
I mean, they killed it in the end.
They did. And actually, here's a little fun Easter egg that people might not realize. If you call the Mario hotline number that they're advertised,
in the commercial. They
so a little Easter egg they have is because it's Charlie Day delivering the answering message as
Oh,
Luigi.
Love Charlie
He's
Day.
like, well, come anywhere you live. He's like, apartment, condo, mansion. So they did make like a little pause
hint.
and like a
Little hint.
mansion. Yeah, it was
I have,
perfect.
it's funny. I
The
bought Luigi's
little,
Mansion. I didn't
little
play it.
things that
I
they
haven't
threw
on
in
Switch.
there.
You never played Luigi's Mansion?
I have it. I literally and I started it and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." And then
Vacuum
for some
cleaner
reason,
the
just,
game.
just completely got distracted.
You just vacuum clean everything.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah.
Pretty much
I
sucking
liked it.
stuff
I
up.
like it. I have
It's
like
a good game.
You vacuum
OCD like
clean
that, and the
ghosts.
ghosts. I always like the anti-hero, or like the lesser character guy.
I like
the
the GameCube
underdog.
games I
Player,
missed.
I like player 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and you raised a good point though. Is there's so many movies that they could make now that like the door has been opened.
I mean, look at the Shrek franchise, like the way they got Puss in Boots. I
Yeah.
mean, that was another movie that I
Yeah,
saw that
you
was
get
animated.
a lot of IP.
I loved that movie with
I
the
could
death
see a Toad
character.
movie. and
Luigi's
stuff
Mansion,
now.
Mario Kart movie.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? And it's like
Did
you
they
know,
have a race?
some-
I thought I saw some go kart.
They
racing
did.
in
They
there.
They did. They
race
touched
in
on
the-
it.
Okay.
Okay.
It
It'll be
exists,
like
but it's not.
Fast and Furious, Mario Kart.
No, they
Nice.
they
Just keep
straight
going
up,
forever
they straight
and
up
ever
had
and
Mario
ever.
Kart because they're
Oh,
throwing
they could steal
shells
from that
and
and
shit.
cars. They could just.
Oh yeah,
merge
no,
the
it's already been
two
done. Everything's been
properties.
done, but it's just doing it for more
Inspiration.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that they could do.
Well, Mario deserves it. You know.
And I think the
Luigi?
one that played Peach
Yeah,
is
Luigi.
Anna Taylor Joy. I think is that her name. She was the one that was in the menu,
Oh,
so
right.
she's been getting a lot of work lately.
Oh,
which is
she's
really
great.
Cool.
I don't know. My
She
favorite
was great.
character
I
was that
forgot-
Star though. Who
Oh
played that?
yeah.
Who is the voice of that? Because I like that little Star
I
one
don't
where
know.
they like save him and he's like, "Oh no."
So there's this little
We're doomed.
star that kind of reminds you of one of the star creatures from Mario Galaxy, and it's extremely depressed and keeps saying
I love it.
cathartic things that
We're
are
all doomed.
super macabre.
Nothing but despair.
the only release we'll have is death,
Yeah.
and then they're getting saved, and the things like boo,
Yeah,
is
'cause
it
they're,
wanted to get killed and shit.
They're like
jeez.
lowering
Oh
him
my
down
God.
into
I
the
love that
lava.
character.
and he's like,
But it's a child's voice, so it's fucking hysterical. It's really it's
oh yeah.
the
trying to
movie is
find
just
it.
so
Really sweet.
funny.
Yeah, no, it was good.
No, they really.
I need to watch it
I
again.
want to watch it again.
I need
I
to
still
watch
have
it
to
again
go
'cause I
see
had
it.
too much.
Yeah.
We're probably going to see it Sunday.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that was too much.
Uh,
I do want to just address some of the comments we have here. So we are joined by From the Dungeon podcast and Hells saying what's up.
Sir.
Hi,
From the
hi,
Dungeon
Hel.
mentions
I like that comment.
From the Dungeon says we need a Zelda live action movie. That'll
Hell said,
All right,
I don't
and
know what
Zelda's the
Joe
princess,
did to
right?
himself, but I like it.
Joe is out sick. We should mention Joe's
Joe's not here.
Joe's,
He's not feeling
It's
good.
Joe.
convalescing
Stand up,
right
Joe.
now. But we're wishing him well.
Aw.
From the Dungeon says, thank you, Sweets, for the audiobook. So in the last episode that me and Vin did together, we gave away a free audiobook to one of our followers. And I figured the first person to kick this off with would be From the Dungeon podcast because he's been here from the start. He's always helping. Me and Vin, we have advanced degenerative fucking brain disorder because we couldn't remember any names. We're like, what's that guy's name? What's that guy's name? And
where
From
are
the
they
Dungeon
from?
was
What
there
planet was
looking it
that?
up for us while we were going, keeping the show going. So
Yeah.
we gifted From the Dungeon Darth Plagueis, however you want to say it.
Plagueis.
Great book.
Fantastic book.
So looking
I've just
forward-
finished it.
I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Oh,
Yeah.
you'll absolutely love the shit out
You'll
of
Is
it.
it
no,
better
I-
on audio?
Oh,
book?
he's so
Audiobook
good.
is
The guy-
fantastic because it has
Damask Holdings is looking to advance
Great,
its holdings in the
I want
outer
to. I
rim.
want to
voice
start
acting.
getting into audiobooks because
Do
what
it.
I found
They're so
when I'm
good, the Star
driving
Wars
to work
ones.
and stuff like that. I'm getting tired of my same old
Your music.
playlists.
Yeah.
and
Dude, yeah, you'll
stuff,
love
and
this. This really.
If I had something to
audiobooks are the
focus
best.
on, I
It
think
makes
would
your
make
drive
my-
to work exciting. It makes you look
And-
forward to driving to work because you got some 30 minutes to just listen to a cool story, kind of zone out before you start
Yeah,
your day.
you're
It helps wake me
teleported.
up.
How many hours are these books typically?
25.
Okay.
Plagueis,
Yeah,
I
but
forget
traffic is
how
45
long.
minutes no matter where you're going. So
Oh,
you got
sure.
45
Yeah.
minutes to wait. You know,
And
That's
you
how
know,
it
you,
works.
you
Focus
start
on
and
something
stop.
else.
You listen for a little bit, and then when you get to
And-
work, you pause it and you pick up where you left
Yeah.
off, and
The Star
it's
Wars-
not a big deal.
The Star Wars books are enhanced too because they have audio cues. They have different
Sound
little
effects, they have
ambient
lightsaber
background
sound
things
effects,
to fill it in.
blasters. They have
Just
the
enough.
music.
Vroom, vroom.
Not
They have the
too
music, they have
corny. Yeah,
everything.
not too much. Very subtle. Even when they're in a room, it'll be Sidious and Plagueis talking to each other, and you'll have something's going on. There's-
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, it was a great book. It really informed
You know what's
so
funny?
much. What?
From the Dungeon said the voice for Plagueis is on point. That's
Oh,
exactly how he sounds. It's
dude.
just like fucking.
Ego Damask from Damask Holdings is we're looking to shore up.
He's got this super deep, smooth
He's
voice.
fucking 9
You'd
feet
love it,
tall.
Rob.
His head is
You'd shit your
That's
brains out. I
hilarious.
can't wait for From the Dungeon to finish it because maybe we'll have him on and we'll discuss the Plagueis book. I think it would be great to talk
Yeah, I
about.
need to do a deeper dive into the more recent Star Wars stuff. I haven't been embracing it, and I'm finding that I could be enjoying the stuff that I've been watching more if I had more of a
yeah.
backstory. So I think I'm going to go back and
the Thrawn
watch
Clone
audiobooks.
Wars.
The
Yes,
Thrawn audiobooks.
please.
But I have to do it in order. I'm going to watch the Clone Wars, and then I'm going to watch Rebels, and then I'm going to watch Bad Batch.
Good call. Do it.
I plan on doing
Because
Rebels.
I'm not going to enjoy Bad Batch
Okay.
unless I understand the Clone Wars. I'm not
Agreed.
even enjoying, not that I'm not enjoying. I think it's fantastic storytelling. The Mandalorian,
Right.
I think it would have more gravity to
I agree.
the conversations if I knew the backstory.
Absolutely.
was
I don't know. That's
pumping my
so weird
fist in
for
the
to
air.
hear you say that though, being that the movie starts from before, then back, and then forward and back.
The
Well, you know what
timelines,
it
we
is?
were talking about that.
to
The
be,
timelines are hard.
confusing. He's like, if I actually didn't get it from the beginning, but they literally play it like
George Lucas's movies
that's
weren't
weird. That
understood.
confuses me.
This is
Yeah.
outside of.
And
even
there's a lot of
that's-
timelines.
A
Right?
lot
You know
of,
what I'm
what's
saying?
going on in Mandalorian is not outside of, but on the fringes of what
So-
happened in the main movies.
Yeah.
It's not the primary Jedi Sith, tale with Luke, Han, and Leia.
Right. Like other people were involved in this war,
Right, exactly. You're getting
this
at
Star War.
some of the fallout, some of the people that helped the Empire rise.
Oh, yeah,
even
yeah.
inadvertently, and then ended up becoming their victim because that's the Empire. They
Right.
just squash everything. So with
Mm.
watching Clone Wars and watching Rebels, when Bo-Katan's wielding, I don't know, we'll we'll totally transition, I guess.
Are we diving into Star Wars: The Mandalorian now?
Well, hold on.
Yeah,
Before we
before we
do
go
that,
there.
I do want to mention, so just a little thing that we're going to do throughout our show here, right? Got a couple of viewers right now. In the comments, you could throw out whatever numbers. The first person to guess in the comments what number is in my head, from number 1 to 100,
He didn't even tell us what the number is.
wins. Didn't even tell
Hold
them.
on.
Wins
Making him write it down.
an
first.
audio book of their choosing from Audible.
See, this is
As long
so
as I can
Chris
buy it with the
can't
credit.
fuck
So that's our
around.
free giveaway for the episode. Again, all you have to do is in the comments, guess the number from 1 to
What
100.
if nobody guesses?
I'm making Chris type in the number. Yeah, 1 to 100 seems like a lot.
1 to 100 is not a lot. And they'll probably get
Literally
it before you
100
even know it.
options.
So, 100
If
options.
someone guesses the
100
number, we owe them more
comments.
than a fucking audio book.
Yeah. Well, we'll see
Whoever
what
gets
happens.
closest
But
to the number.
you
How
can
about
only
that?
you can only comment.
Closest to the
Fucking.
number sounds good, Rob. I
You can only
agree.
comment
We're taking a
3
democratic
times a
vote
minute.
on this giveaway.
Let's be fair. And you can't go in
Everyone's
order,
just
Oler.
going in
Don't
on
you
the
start
numbers.
doing 1, 2, 3. You can't do
Yeah.
it in order.
There you go.
It's got to be
See?
random numbers.
You get one vote. That's it.
Gotta
The whole
do
thing is the whole system's been gamed. That's the problem with
From 1 to
giveaways.
100, though?
Yeah. 1 to 100.
Do you even have 100 viewers right now?
We don't.
No.
But we will. Whoever gets
We have
to it
5.
first. You
Well, I
got
have
5.
the number,
One of them
folks,
is me.
So
You got a 1 in 5 chance of winning.
Right.
whoever gets closest to the number, but then
I
No,
wanna
no. Whoever
play.
gets the number. You
Whoever
got to
gets
get
the
the number
number,
to
you
win the
have to
book.
get- all
You
right.
gotta
Use the
it's-
force.
69.
So anyway,
So there you go.
while you guys guess that in the comments, we're all very excited to talk about the season finale of Mandalorian.
I do want to say from the dungeon said we need a Zelda live action movie, and I'm fully on board for either animated or live action.
I would.
It'll happen one day.
Honestly,
Fucking so
It'll
cool.
happen.
it would be wild if they did a animated, a really
Yes.
good animated
Link and Link's bro. That
Legend of Zelda. It lends itself to that. In fact, you know what you can really do is
Show.
a Spider-Verse type movie, because look at how many different retellings of the Legend of Zelda have there been.
right.
It'd be sick to see a team up with classic Link with Breath of the Wild Link, Wind Waker Link. It lends itself to something like that.
That's funny. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I would love to see that. So yeah, that's a great point from the
I
dungeon.
want to see more 2D animations, though. Like, I like what they did with The Witcher.
66.
You know, like what's his name? Valdemort? What's his name?
Voldemort?
No. The Witcher's teacher.
Oh,
Oh,
With the V.
I'm not
fuck.
The
Not
fuck
good at
is his
that.
name?
Wait, I know his
yeah,
name
I know,
too. I
Vin
hate
I
it.
know this sucks.
Don't ask me. Shit.
It's a cool name too.
Yeah, fuck.
Vin, dude, fuck. Anyways, Valdemir? Valdemort?
I fell out of The Witcher. Became a little hard to follow the show, at least.
Oh no, the New Witcher? No, forget it. I tried to watch the New Witcher and I'm like, no, where's the guy? Where's that lore
Where's,
part? It's two
Oh,
backstories.
the
Geralt.
one that's
Geralt.
Jaskier's fucking
Valdemir. No wait. Shit, I keep getting close.
Vesemir.
Vesemir. Fuck.
Vesemir.
You win. All right. Well, Vesemir, I like the way they showed his backstory in the 2D. You know what I mean?
right.
I know that 2D is whatever, but I miss a good 2D movie and anime.
Fuck.
Adult 2D animation. Fuck.
Yeah, I do like mature fucking.
DC kills it
anime.
with that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really kill it with that. And I think that's why I enjoy anime, because anime really
Yeah, it
embraces
shows
that
the
old
violence.
school.
That's why I like cartoons, because it pushes that boundary. That
It's
doesn't-
amazing that Japan was influenced by Disney Animation Studios to create the things that they do with anime, and now
Yeah.
Disney Animation Studios don't exist anymore, and anime is still going strong.
And Mario was actually created by a dude in Japan.
Yeah, Shigeru Miyamoto,
Yeah.
and he was named after his landlord named Mario, which is funny.
Because man,
Small world.
that's
Yeah,
how-
he was like standing. That picture of him with Jack Black, and he's standing in the back, like nobody's talking to him, but he
it
like
was
literally
hysterical.
created
There
it.
was a meme where there's a red carpet thing, and Shigeru Miyamoto is just kind of looking sad, standing in the corner, and they're interviewing Jack Black, and it's they don't even know I literally created Mario.
Yeah. That's
terrible truth. You know?
it is.
You
It
do
is.
something
That's why you gotta
right,
watch the
nobody will
Tetris
know you
movie.
did anything
Tell them,
wrong.
watch the Tetris movie, 'cause then you get to learn about the guy who created
I'll
it.
have to fit it into my schedule.
Tetris could have not existed to the world. There was a possibility that Tetris would not have happened to the
And then we
world.
would have never gotten that amazing music.
Ba- ba-na-na, na-na-na,
Even the
na-na-na,
intro.
All right, so what we're really here for. Mandalorian finale.
Hold on, wait. Let's do this. Let's go around. I want a number from. We're gonna do what we used to do. We're gonna rate this season,
The whole season.
the
What
whole
about the
season,
episode,
not just
then
the
season?
finale.
Damn.
We'll do this. We'll do the finale also. But out of a 1 to 10,
Okay, real quick.
what would you rate this season of Mandalorian? Season 3,
This is season
Out of
3 of The
10?
Mandalorian out of 10.
1 out of 10.
8.5.
You're going with 8.5.
8.5.
It's fair.
8.7.
Ooh.
8.7.
Feels like the price is right. You get that?
I think it's better than an 8.5. But I don't know
Really?
if I'd give it a 9 because I feel
No,
like there
no.
were
To me it
some
was.
episodes that weren't my favorite.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have sped up certain things and slowed down on other things.
Yeah.
I think that the finale was great. I think it's really nice to have a happy ending for once because I think we've all gotten PTSD from Game of Thrones
Right.
that like we expect the worst for our favorite characters and
Absolutely.
a bleak fucking future for everything.
For
because
everybody and
let's
all
face
things.
it, what have they
Everybody
been doing
dies.
to Star Wars? Star Wars had a solid and happy ending with Return of the Jedi, and then they went and made these new movies and basically said they never found peace, and then they
Right.
all ultimately died alone and by
And for
themselves
nothing.
and
Peace
shit
is
for nothing.
fragile.
And it's
The
like
truth is,
like
you like to think your stories have a happy ending.
because
but
Din's sitting
life
in,
goes
on a
on.
porch
Right,
with
the
Grogu in his own home.
Collateral
We know that
damage
shit's not
in the
going to
universe.
last either because there's going to be another season. There's going to be shit that's going to go down. And ultimately, even if Din never gets killed, he's like a fucking pet to Grogu. So they're going to get separated eventually.
Hey,
he's going to
hey.
he's going to die well
Son,
before
That's
him.
not his pet. It's his son. His name is Din
It's-
Grogu. It's not
It's
a pet.
just like
It's not a
Chewbacca's
pet.
fucking pet is Han Solo. It's
No, but he's not a pet.
Well, that's like
He's-
when you
he's
get a
his son
parrot
now.
and the parrot lives for 125 years.
Yeah, that's that.
And
those
you get
parrot
it when you're
things.
45, so it's going to outlive you and then be somebody else's problem when you
Yeah.
die.
exactly.
it really begs the question. All right, I don't want to jump ahead because I feel like we'll have a good groove. If
Well,
you
wait,
give
what do
your
you rate it?
score. Well, I'm not going to jump ahead. Rob just went. What was your score, Rob?
8.7.
I said 8.7.
Yeah,
He said his
Yours.
reasoning.
What's yours?
You go first
Why me?
because I don't know yet.
This
Still
guy
thinking.
doesn't even know yet.
Well, how nice. He lets him come first.
Yeah.
Jeez. I
Comes
would
up the
say
question. He doesn't have an answer.
I'd probably say an 8.6.5. 8.65.
8.65. Jesus.
Or
this-
8.6.
What?
Really
Sounds like
getting
an
into the
iOS
nitty-gritty
version.
here.
Sounds
No,
like
you
an
gotta-
operating system upgrade.
Solid
but,
point system. It's
No, I would say an
Can't go that far.
8.7.
I was just trying to
We'll
land on a
round
whole
up-
number.
We'll round up to an 8.7. Yeah, I'd say really for the same reasons that you said. You know, that one episode with Christopher Lloyd just really pissed me off. It didn't make any sense. It was totally non
It didn't
sequitur.
piss me off, but it also kind of takes you out of that world because
When
you
you
want to
have-
know about it's. I felt it was kind of like anime filler. Like
Yeah.
there's a meaty
filler.
story that you're like salivating to get to the next week for,
Oh,
and then they throw you a bullshit just to extend the life
Here's-
of the show.
And
I'm
here's
like,
8 episodes that are only 30 minutes long. So you're
That's
like,
my other
wow,
gripe
this
with
is
it is-
because
precious
guess what?
time.
Jack Black didn't come and fucking help liberate Mandalore, so that
anything.
episode meant nothing.
Yeah, it
Well,
doesn't-
if he
Oh,
comes
yeah, the one
back
with
later,
Lizzo?
I get it.
yeah.
You know,
Right,
it
right,
doesn't
right,
have a-
right.
a
I forgot about that
grander-
whole
Like if
story. What was
fucking
that whole
battle
story for?
droids started flying
We talked
down to
about it.
fight
It
on the
was
right
kinda
side.
pointless. It was-
Yeah.
That
the
would be
droid,
wild.
the droid part of that whole
Yeah.
story made no fucking sense. So Christopher Lloyd poisoned the droids to attack his own people because he
Oh, that was a waste of a
loved
cameo.
them. Didn't make any fucking
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, and it was a waste of a cameo, and how he's like, they take him away, and he's like, eh. Like it was just like
Oh, I'm
it was
sorry.
such a
thing-
waste of a legendary character to be like just.
It's funny with-
It was me, the bad guy all along, and that was
yeah.
it, like a
He went
Scooby
from
Doo
the man in
ending
the
for
Yeah,
no
it
DeLorean
was
reason.
to the
very
man
much
in
a
the
Scooby
DeLorean.
Doo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
no
like, it was
characters.
like, no,
That's
he's
a
a
good way to
put
legend,
it.
and he just like, I'll pull the lever.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. He's like,
Dumb.
I love this planet, so I'm gonna pull the lever and fucking kill everyone
It didn't
because,
make,
It made no sense.
and then they
Well,
just tase him
cameo-
to end the stupid
It was
fucking
me,
story.
Dio.
Cameos always have like 1 or 2 endings. You know what I mean? They either die because they're expendable because you're not a cameo is a cameo. They're not. You know.
No,
It's
that's a
special
legendary
guest,
cameo. Like even
and you're
even
just
in
like, oh,
even in celebrity, he outbits Lizzo and he outbits
Oh my God,
Jack
it's Doc
Black.
Brown. It's Doc fucking Brown. Yeah, of
Like,
course.
I mean, maybe not now
Love
because
him.
Jack Black is trending, but as far as celebrity and like the honor of it and like the legend of it, and he got the shittiest like
some
story.
notoriety.
I would have written him a better fucking.
They're
can we say-
trying very
Can we
hard
cuss?
to. Oh yeah.
Can we say F?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Fuck.
All right, so
Fuck.
I think he could been. No. That was disappointing.
Agree.
For like a legend in this, like womp womp womp.
Agreed. I hated that episode.
Yeah, no.
So that's what definitely takes this season down a notch from being something like a 9 or a 10. It's definitely not in the 10 range. It's
So
not in the
what
9.
is your number?
I was trying to go without the halves, but I would say
Dude, you could do the fucking halves. You could do whatever number you want.
I'll give it an 8 for the payoffs because I have like a lot of like knowledge of all the little interworkings of the Clone Wars and all that crap. So I was definitely hyped at the end, but I would say wasted time, wasted episodes, like convoluted couple episodes that weren't like
They were still enjoyable. They were just kind
I
of a
enjoyed
waste
this
of time.
season, but it just didn't. Not everything like rung that bell. That was like, whoa, It was definitely. We had to wait till the end. We had to wait to see Grogu's force powers again. It's a very like, oh, we're gonna build this up, and the ending also is very just like, to be continued. You will see these two again. It just ends very like, all right. And
Like,
now
there's
the
no, like-
tales of
yeah.
Din and Grogu will continue. There's no
It's
real.
not
There are certain
suspense.
things
We
I
don't
had
know.
hoped to
Yeah,
see.
we're not like,
There's
oh,
not
where'd
like, yeah,
Grogu
oh my
go?
God, did she die? Did she die?
Yeah,
Is he going? Are they
exactly.
going?
I had
Yeah.
hoped to
Grogu's
see
with
like
Luke.
Grogu use like the mythosaur or something like that.
Well, yeah, and then they
Well,
can-
and for them to say like they don't have a season
I do
necessarily
want to see that.
in the books, their plan is like they're doing Ahsoka. They know they're doing another
can't
season
wait
of
for
this,
that.
but they're not really saying when it's going to come.
Yeah.
And then they're going to do this movie that's supposed to culminate the whole thing together. So it's like
Well, it leaves it open
Shit.
too, though, for like
Supposedly.
all the other
They're-
stories so
that's what
intertwined.
I
By
think.
leaving it a blank slate like
they're
that,
going to do all
you
sorts
can
of
you can
comic
do whatever they
books.
want. It's gonna be much
Right.
more malleable.
Right.
You know
The
what I mean?
movie's gonna kind of be like, I guess, what the Defenders was on Netflix, where they take all of the show characters and
That's
going to
be their Avengers moment for sure. They're going to go fucking like in the not an end game, but
Because with Defenders, they had Luke Cage and they had
all right. Here's
Daredevil and all
something
those
that takes
TV
away.
characters.
They hinted a lot at Thrawn.
Yes,
And I kind of want to get a peek at him. Kind of want to see him now.
Mm.
Was hoping to maybe get a glimpse or that last.
Well, they
know,
confirmed that the guy that voices him
yeah,
is going to be playing him.
100%.
Mikkelsen.
That's Mickelsen's brother.
If I was gonna point to letdown or something I maybe expected, I was like, oh, that would have
Did
been
we ever
cool.
get to see the Mythosaur again?
I saw at the very end.
Grogu
with
actually
Grogu.
did wake it up
Yeah.
when he was looking
woke up
down
When
into
he
the
got
pools.
baptized?
Yes.
When he got
Yeah,
Mandalorian
whatever.
baptized?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Blessed by the waters of Minnetonka. So some of the comments here.
St. John the Man.
So wait, you're saying solid 8, Vin?
I said it was an 8.
So okay, so Vin's got an 8.
Ocho Cinco.
So from the dungeon rates it a 7 out of 10.
That's fair. I was thinking 7. That's where my head was going. Actually, I was like, oh, is it a 7, 7.5, 8? It's an 8 to me because it does have the payoff. There's a lot of great shit that's threaded in there that is Filoni lore. It's like literally stuff that he birthed fucking 15 years ago that's now paying off. It definitely felt like a Clone Wars finale. So that's why it does pay off, but I could see where if you didn't have any of that, this was definitely the mid-season where it's like, damn, it feels like we're still in the middle of their story. We don't have the full... Grogu hasn't reached his potential. We're waiting for like real big epic payoffs with his use of the Force, but they're still building. Now he's officially in a Mandalorian. He's
But we
been
did find out
fully-
why they took him. We took out Moff Gideon, who
Yeah.
was the main bad for
I need to
since
watch
the
it
first
again.
season.
like after not having waited
Like
4
thinking
years to
about
watch it.
like the things that we accomplished by the end of this, it was a big like domino effect.
That's why it
'cause
gets the 8.
we
definitely.
we finally
Definitely.
get to scratch that itch of like the people hunting them are gone.
And they get their planet back,
For
and
now.
a Lady King.
Din gets a home where
Bo.
he was
Yep,
very,
love.
he was a transient dude, and now he has
Oh,
a home.
That episode, if we talk specifically more to the episode, I
That
was
episode
fist in
was
the
a
air
9,
the whole time.
you know,
Well,
it was-
let's go.
Yeah.
'Cause that was
9.5.
awesome.
So you're rating-
last
Here
episode
for the Lady Kings
I would
and
say is-
reclaiming your own shit.
she was
is
kicking
what
ass.
Here
It
for
was
saves
that.
that.
awesome.
Like if
Dark
that last
saber.
episode
And
wasn't
it's done
as good,
proper. It's
the
not
season would have gotten
forced,
a lesser
let's
episode.
Yeah,
say.
the Force isn't
Sometimes
forced on this one.
It's not
Yeah.
like, oh, we just made Bo the dominant Mandalorian because we needed a female character to do it.
No, she's
She's
old school
long
princess.
been
Just-
in the run. Yeah, exactly.
They have a problem with princesses losing their houses in the
She
Star
regained it
Wars, so
herself.
that's like a theme too, and that's cool to
Right.
see.
Right, I
You
agree.
know?
I think
like her
they-
headband with the light.
She looks so good compared
Oh
to
yeah,
the
and then the way they
animated
designed her
character.
costume to make like the hips look bigger, because I'm like they both have holsters, but like and then the way she walks, like I'm like yeah, costume ideas.
Putting a little
Oh,
extra
yeah.
into
Oh
it,
yeah, I love that. I like a lady warrior,
Mendo.
Man.
Bo-Katan is definitely
and
killing
he's
it.
gonna keep his helmet on.
Um,
Exciting news.
yeah.
Well, wait. Before we go into rating the episode, which Rob did, so you gave it a 9.5. Joe, who's in the comments here, member of the show, gives it a 7.9 for the season. Said season was mid, and they said stop talking over each other. The Iron Sheik hates you. Which is
Fucking piece of
fucking
shit.
guys always talking
Judd-
over us. But we're wishing Joe well. 7.9. That's it's an interesting number.
That is an interesting number.
It's an interesting number. The real
Not as
Jacob
fun as
is here.
6.9.
He's back. The real Jacob entered the contest to win the free audiobook.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Congratulations.
Of Chris's choosing.
well, no, it's not of my choosing. You got a choice between any of the books that we speak about on the show. So that'll be any of the Thrawn books. It'll be the Plagueis book
Game of
or
Thrones,
Night,
House
any
of
Game of
Dragon.
Thrones related book. That's your
Every
choice.
Chris
I'll give you a
Blood.
choice of a couple of
This
books,
is
and you can
Chris's
choose
gift
what
to
you
the
like.
audience.
But the whole point is for you to be able to engage with us with the topics of discussion. I'm not gonna buy you fucking Chelsea Handler's fucking newest book. You're buying a book that we speak
Someone
about
buy that for
on the
Joe.
show.
Joe
all
would
right.
love that. Get a hard copy.
Joe wins a free copy of Chelsea Handler. So okay, so Mandy, what would you rate this finale episode? 1 to
I
10.
thought we already did that.
No, the
The whole
episode.
That was
Oh,
the
the
season.
episode.
So this episode, the last episode.
8.6.
Okay,
Be different.
it's fair.
No, I liked it. I liked the whole Grogu Snill, thing. I like that it left it open so that the stories can continue or bleed into the other ones. And yeah, more Grogu. That's why they brought him back.
It's
Yeah.
Din Grogu.
And he
Din
has a
Grogu.
name.
He's got
Yeah.
a name now, a full name,
Yeah,
first and
his
last
fellow
name.
orphan felt that vibe.
I feel like I gotta
Found
go
family,
back
foundling.
and watch it like in one stretch, like binge it, because as it's week to week, sometimes it's hard to recap in my mind.
Oh yeah, no,
everything that
absolutely.
happened. But Din getting his Mandalorian status back, going to Mandalore, like there was definitely a lot in this season. So I don't want to diminish it by being like, oh, it was very mid, but a couple of filler episodes were annoying.
Yeah.
Right?
What do you rate
Yeah.
the finale?
Finale, was- man,
It didn't feel like a finale for sure. It felt
Yeah.
like another episode.
It was like,
Yeah.
hey,
That's true.
until the next event, I felt like it was waiting to say Din and Grogu will return. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I know they will. So I do
they
expect
will.
based on that ending, like comic books or a book or something, because it just
Put
seems
to
so like,
fill it in.
hey, we're
Yeah,
gonna
but-
have the adventures of Grogu and
Yeah, but like you said earlier, with they have Ahsoka going on, that maybe they need to direct the focus onto that now, so that maybe you're not thinking about what's going to happen.
It's
They're going
true.
to direct that focus to the projects that are already going to launch. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah,
that would make
Ahsoka-
more sense from a business standpoint.
and Ahsoka is Filoni's favorite
I can't fucking wait.
character.
I can't
So
fucking wait.
he's-
More
he's
lady
got
Jedis,
him-
more lady warriors.
He's poured himself into this show, and I fully expect it to have extreme payoffs when it comes to Thrawn, when it comes to the new what the hell, the rise of the new Sith, like all of that. I think there's going to be some like heavy duty
We're probably going to
First
see Luke
Order.
again.
Luke and Ahsoka.
Yeah.
That's it.
It'd
It'd be interesting if they introduce like a Mara Jade character.
hope so.
I would very much like to see her because she's born from the same books as Thrawn. So if they brought him back, they could easily bring her back. The Hand of the Emperor makes a lot of sense. Did he have an assassin to like take over if Vader ever it's.
So yeah, they definitely used this finale to get ready to start this whole next
Right.
phase,
And
which
even
is
end the conversation, because like there's like, oh, what's going to happen? Now the conversation's focused on
right.
Ahsoka and what their next projects are going to be.
It's very intentional. You can feel
Yeah,
it as an
yeah.
audience. You watch it, and you
Feel
watch
the
the little
force.
closeout. You're like, oh, all right, and that's nice. That's a very. You're right. We are
But sometimes we're like too nice, you know. Yeah, like I say, we don't know what's happening. Like we didn't get traumatized.
Right.
We're not We're not like sitting in suspense.
Did someone come and capture
This is
Grogu?
an easy show. No, yeah, you're right.
It's like you expect the armorer to die trying to go into the
Yeah.
atmosphere because the shit glitches. Like, oh no.
Oh yeah, like I thought you were gonna have 2 sacrifices. I was like, that's dumb. They're not gonna sacrifice that one
too.
guy that
Axe
did the door.
Wolves. That the guy who
and then the
crashed
guy,
the ship.
the last king of
Thought
the
he was gonna be the
Mandalores.
betrayer. Really
No,
thought
I was
Axe
like,
Wolves.
they're not gonna kill both these
They
guys
definitely
off.
wanted you to think that.
I really
Yeah, but
thought he
that
was the
would be
bad
dumb.
guy.
So
For
these are the writers from Game of
Mandalore!
Thrones that
So
So I'm
left.
thinking
Great.
the traitor was probably the girl.
I'm giving the finale though. My number's a 9.
Oh, the Empire.
Giving the
chick
finale a
that
9.
Killed
Yeah.
the scientist. Yeah.
I
That bitch.
I initially wanted to give it a 9, but I can't because it was only like fucking 30 minutes. And I'm sorry, but
All right.
like for a
It was
finale,
52 minutes.
I wanted what? How long was it?
The finale was 52 minutes.
Oh, was it? I thought it was like 39.
no,
or
it was
something.
52 minutes.
Even then, I don't know. I want to
it?
fuck. Give me an
I
hour.
could swear.
I don't think
Give
so.
me a
Look it up.
full
I
hour.
watched it before you
The,
guys
the
even came
second to
down here,
last
just
episode
before.
should be an hour. Also,
I thought
like
it was
I
52
want a little
minutes.
bit more
The beginning and the end should be longer than the middle episodes. I think I can feel that.
because it already felt like such a short. Every episode seemed a little short to me.
Right, because
So,
they play the backstory from
49
3
minutes.
seasons ago.
49 minutes. It's not a full
I guess
hour.
it was 52
Oh, no,
because
that's a
of
lie,
the
that's a
intro.
lie.
And that, yeah, what is
Totally
is that
lied.
including the credits?
I lied. It's 41 minutes.
41 minutes. Okay,
Yeah.
it keeps getting fucking 41, 43, 42.
It's 41. Yeah, yeah.
41
I know,
minutes, and that's with
we
the
talked
credits.
about it. We talked about it.
It
We
should have
know
been.
why.
We should have been like a feature length for the finale at least. For the finale, I don't care what your fucking budget is. You budget so you save it for the finale. If they weren't
think-
cutting so much throughout the whole season, that'd be one thing. But that's why you
true.
cut it so that the finale
I
can
say
be the
fuck
big
that other
splurge.
episode then, right? I say
Yeah,
fuck the
we
Jack
could have
Black
fucking
episode.
totally.
You paid Lizzo and Jack Black, and you didn't
And
have
Christopher
an hour,
Lloyd.
And they weren't
hour-long-
even in the finale part because
Right.
that's usually when you close all the tabs from all the episodes and connect it all into one thing.
Well,
and
like I said,
blah,
if
blah,
it-
blah. It was like no, it had nothing to do with anything.
It would have
Yeah.
made more sense if, like, they had that episode, and then, like, maybe they start losing against the fucking.
And they use the battle droids.
They
or
use the
something.
battle droids.
Yeah.
Imagine
Here
seeing
comes
battle
Lizzo,
droids back in
freaking
action, but on the right side.
spaceship, and she's
People
like,
would fucking love that shit. Because people love the battle droids, like, when they talk to each other and shit, they're fucking hilarious. Imagine them being on the right side. You know what I mean?
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
There's
Like
certain.
that
Well, we did get some droid
Because then
action.
it's literally battle droids versus stormtroopers. Because they're the natural enemies of each other anyway. The clones were their fucking enemy.
And they could use that nanotechnology that Homeboy used
Oh
and
yeah,
made it
the
a better story.
virus thing or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
like because it was a cool like how do they get it in there? But then it was like womp womp womp.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like, cool,
they
They
let's
took it
hear
back
more
too
about
The
these
light
easily.
nanobots.
Oh, they
animals.
crashed the ship and then the Empire's gone? Come
Yeah.
on. If
Well,
they had
I-
brought battle droids in, if the fucking mythosaur, they could have made a more epic episode for the finale.
Oh no,
They could have brought
takes
in all
a-
these people that you
it
thought
takes
were
away.
bullshit and then fucking came
no,
in.
and then
It takes away though. It takes
Because then it takes an army
The
to take
more-
back a planet. It makes sense that they got the planet back when they had multiple armies to fight back.
all right. Well,
Yeah,
what
but
doesn't
the
make
more you-
sense?
The more you keep introducing those, the more you take away from the characters.
Well,
It's like the more that they've,
Right.
we do have some expectations. Somebody in the comments said, where was Boba? And it's like, we watched Endgame, right? Everybody's seen Marvel. You can only afford X amount of seconds to each character.
Sure.
So then you have to take away from others. So every time you do that, it does have diminishing returns, I think.
and didn't
Just
Boba
to
just have
an
a whole
on-screen,
season?
like moment doesn't necessarily bring more to the show. So I would say it's not always smart to do that or force it, especially
the
when you're
force.
gonna like, hey, we're gonna start doing movies now. So we have like a movie budget. That's the problem they have right now. They're basically taking a movie budget and spreading it across 8
Which makes no
episodes.
sense too, because it's like you would think getting into
Being
TV
Disney.
now that they would understand that you need a bigger budget than a fucking 3-hour movie.
I don't know
Okay,
shit about
well-
market research.
I don't
Well,
either.
I don't
And
know.
look,
I know what doesn't make sense is why were the clones all old? Like if you're gonna clone
There we go.
yourself,
Yeah.
why would you be like the oldest, like your senior citizen self? Be like, I want the Force to be able to tie your fucking shoelaces. Like my guy, like I would have gone like at least like my teenage self. Like seriously,
the big
like that doesn't make any
question-
sense.
On the internet,
Your
to your
senior self.
point about clones, was the Moff Gideon that died a clone?
No.
Because he had no mustache.
no.
Oh,
Mustache was gone.
Well, I mean maybe because I don't know, but I don't know why
It's
the
Moff
clones
Gideon.
were old. Like, get
Well,
rid of
they
those
always
shit.
Some
are.
Dr.
That's the
Doom
thing.
shit. We're always a Doom
But
bot.
that's-
Because
He's not
Snoke
really
was
that.
a clone.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
a strand
That
cast or a
doesn't make any
clone.
sense to me. If you're gonna go through all that technology to make a version of yourself, a copy
would
of
you?
yourself, I would get not the one that has arthritis.
Yeah.
The
Right.
fucking-
Well, that's
I
what
don't know,
Boba
just-
Fett is, though.
But that's, I mean,
Boba Fett is a clone that was actually raised
Not-
as a child. He aged eventually.
He wasn't. He didn't have advantage.
He
didn't
wasn't
have the
prematurely-
advanced aging, serum.
Well,
that
Exactly.
the rest
We
of the
were
clones
talking
had.
about how were
Oh.
these guys cloned? You know,
It was a
yeah, 'cause
stipulation
I
from
want it to make
Jango
sense
Fett.
to me. You know what I mean? Like, why are we cloning senior citizens? It doesn't make
Boba
any sense. As
I think the thing is Boba's a Camino clone, and those cloners are gone. So whatever we're seeing now, the Snokes and the fucking all this Moff Gideon shit,
Is a
It's like a
bastardized version of
bastardized
the
version.
science.
but he
it's
wants.
yeah.
cheap. It's a cheaper version, and they don't know how to do the Camino versions, which were the better. You could actually.
But he was
birth
trying to
them.
get a clone that made him have the Force.
right.
Wasn't
was
it that
the-
DNA, whatever the thing that
Still
they were looking
Grogu's
for?
To that
Right.
point, then, if the clones did have the
chromosome.
Force, it wouldn't really matter if they were old because they would be able to.
Well, no. We're doing it straight from like why? Because why would you clone your senior citizens?
Well, why?
question.
Well, to the
It might be
business
because
point,
he had no
you have
choice.
Giancarlo, and you're like, yeah, we're just gonna show Giancarlo 40 times.
yeah, no, yeah. I mean, yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, that's when it doesn't make sense. You start asking all these questions, and
And that's the thing.
But
You
I'm
always
not-
have to suspend your disbelief a little bit. I mean, that's you
Well,
have
clearly,
to.
it's
you know.
fantasy.
With Star Wars, you always
Yeah.
got to suspend because even with the original Star Wars movies, there's fucking plot holes. Like,
Sometimes they'll
why
say,
is
"We
the
didn't
guy in
think
the
of that."
cantina
Plot
the
holes
only
in
guy that's
space.
ever
They'll
bled
say-
from a lightsaber attack? You know
It's,
what I mean?
it's
Like,
everything's great in retrospect and being critical, but when you're writing,
Yeah.
sometimes you fucking miss everything, and you're like, Jesus, we missed that. I think sometimes it comes down to like you don't think of everything, and then the fans will bring shit up, and you're like,
oh yeah,
we got to readdress that. Like we never fucking did this, and
Right.
they'll go back and be like,
that's what these talks are for.
But I really think I think it is a highlight. The cloning thing is that they're just not able to do it proper. That's why the
I mean,
Emperor
but-
is a
I mean-
shitty clone.
Right,
you know?
right,
Like,
and it took him forever.
they never have like
Snoke
And
was
not to
a
even
shit
be
clone.
against
was not-
ageism, it just doesn't like those are the little things that pop in like don't
Snoke
make any
looks
sense.
like
Makes you
shit.
question.
You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not gonna get a whole bunch of
And they
senior
were off.
citizen stormtroopers
And they were
that are
off
gonna
so
have
quick. You saw them for about 4 seconds. It was like, oh, they're gone.
yeah, and that was
Yeah.
it too. It's like, oh, I got all
They
these
killed him.
masterful things that take forever and
Oh, gone.
I had all these clones.
I don't
And he
think.
had a
I
big
don't think
boast
they're
about it
version
being the-
1 to either.
having
That's
the force.
why I think that they may have been a version that possessed the Grogu element that
Yeah.
he got from when he captured him in season 2. But what was it?
And why doesn't he look more like
season
Grogu?
1, he originally got his blood sample, so I
Right.
think they already had what they wanted out of him, and they were
Right.
just going to dispose of him because he was a Jedi.
See,
I'm gonna
if
lean.
he
They were
was-
towards-
still in the
I'm
oven.
leaning towards
Rescue
Moff Gideon
something.
clone died. I don't think that was the true.
I don't
I don't
buy
know.
it.
I would think that
I
if
don't
he
think
Why
crossed
didn't he have a
his
mustache?
genes with Grogu, he would be younger because Grogu's a baby.
Why didn't they? Yeah.
and why does he
didn't
look
they,
more like Grogu and Moff Gideon together?
Ugh.
Well, it
Just
would just
kidding.
be the blood. And even then, they've. I remember
Grogu.
reading
I'm
this.
just like, yeah.
You
what if we
can't
dwarf?
clone the Force. Like you could.
That's what
Never.
he tried
You
to do,
could make
though,
a
right?
clone of
He
Luke.
boasted.
He tried, but
He
that's
acted
the
like he
thing.
did, though.
Well, that
Well, he
He acted like he
thinks-
did. He goes,
What
I got
happens in that-
Beskar now and the
Yeah.
Force, bitches.
He
and
bought
then he's
into
like,
it.
No, he came in that I was with very much.
He
confidence.
believed it, but I mean that's like anytime that I've read about clones, you cannot clone the Force. If you made a clone of Luke, there's no guarantee that
They
clone
were
is going
trying
to have
to use
the Force.
genetics to
Right.
manipulate the midichlorian counts.
Like
I
the-
think that's what
that's the
they're trying to
word.
do.
That's the one.
They were trying to, incorporate midichlorians into the bloodstream of
Midichlorian metal
the clones.
Midichlorians.
Isn't that the whole story with Thrawn and this latest trilogy that you guys despised? Was that not Thrawn? With Palpatine, was that Snoke was just a shit clone that didn't have the Force, and no matter how many
They
times
needed to create a vessel. It was different because the Emperor's essence still existed in the Force, and he needed a vessel to pour his essence into.
Hot.
And I think that the only one that was able to temporarily accept his essence was the one that was in the Outer Rim that we saw at the end of the movie. And essentially there was elements that he was missing from the clone, and that's what Rey was. That was going to be the true, he was going to put his soul
Into
essentially
Rey, right?
into Rey.
Yeah.
But it was there was
Giving her
the balance in the Force kind of thing. There was something between
It's a lot of the players' book.
What's his name? Ben Solo and her, that together would actually solidify and make a true clone of the Emperor. And that's what he was kind of doing. He was siphoning their powers and making himself younger and more powerful again. And then he eventually loses. And
he should have just had the two
it goes
Jedis
back.
do it.
And Rey survives. And
Rey and that one guy.
And
So now they're using, like we've been saying, all this intermediary content to inform those movies, because now they're going to try to make that all make fucking sense. That stuff seems so out of nowhere when we're watching those movies.
It's going to be what the Clone Wars was for the prequel trilogy, because really a lot of people didn't like the prequel movies because they didn't know what George Lucas was trying to tell, because they're not long enough to really delve into the story that he was trying to tell.
Right.
So they came out with the Clone Wars cartoon to kind of flesh out those characters and make you care about them.
Yep.
Because it's like, oh, Anakin was a good friend.
awesome.
And it's like, all right, well, he was his apprentice in one movie. Then the next movie, he's kind of acting like a dick. And then all of a sudden, oh, well, he became evil. No fucking wonder why he became evil.
Right.
And it's like, you don't really get that true story. And that's why they created the Clone Wars cartoon.
Yes.
And that's why the stories that are in that are so integral to what they're telling now, because these are the later stories of the characters that existed in that show, and that's why I want to watch it.
Oh, you're gonna be so deep in it. You're gonna you plow through.
But I didn't embrace it when it came out, because I was very disappointed in what the Clone Wars turned out to be. See, I'm an OG Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
I grew up before there were prequels, so I kind of like grew up in a weird time where there was no Star Wars. I was born in 1988. In 83, Return of the Jedi came out, and then after that movie came out, Star Wars, for all intents and purposes, died. All there was like Micro Machines and the Star Wars Insider magazine. And after that, 96, 95, they started coming out with toys again. They started coming out with the movies with the enhanced versions and stuff. And then Star Wars fever has really not stopped since. Right. And when I was a kid, I had my own preconceived notions of what the Clone Wars were, and maybe the Emperor was like an evil clone of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's how he was like seduced to the dark side, and that's why he's like all crippled looking and shit. Like, you have these things in your mind as to like what that is, because it has a mysterious aura around it. Like they reference a war that we have no clue about. What the fuck could the Clone Wars mean? And then they came out with it, and it's like, oh, they're just clones of Boba Fett? Like, what?
Yeah, what the fuck is this? Why are they in the field kissing? What's going on? Why is Anakin so whiny?
The dialogue, it was very George Lucas, because it was very cardboard. He's not good with scripts. No. And even with the original Star Wars, Alec Guinness had to sit down with him and be like, no, do it like this, because this makes more fucking sense.
Yeah.
And even Harrison Ford said when the original Star Wars came out, he's like, you can write this shit, George, but you can't say it, Yeah.
Oh, God.
So he had his wife at the time when those movies came out. Was it Marsha Lucas? I forget her first name. She divorced him right after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, they say
premiered.
She's the reason.
And she was the one that kind of like roped him in and be like, George, this doesn't fucking make sense. And he had a bunch of yes men when the prequel movies came out. So there was nobody to stop George Lucas from over-Lucasing himself.
Right. Yeah, he indulged himself in the depths.
And that's why we have, remastered fucking Star Wars movies, and why we have, hatred for the prequels.
Being a producer and making these stories.
He never came out with the new shit. He kept redoing the old shit, and I was like, dude, all these great books, all this stuff, the Thrawn stuff came out in the 90s. What the fuck? You could have had told this story. Everyone. I still blame.
To be
George
fair,
Lucas.
I think George Lucas wanted to make the sequel trilogy first, but Carrie Fisher was on drugs. Harrison Ford hated fucking Star Wars,
right.
And Mark Hamill was voice acting at the time. Yeah. So it was like,
it's true.
He really couldn't bring those characters back so soon.
They didn't have Disney's checkbook.
They didn't even know if they were going to get Harrison Ford back for Return of the Jedi.
No, it's true. That's a good point.
Han Solo went into carbonite literally because they didn't know that Harrison Ford was going to come back for Return of the Jedi, and then he decided to finish the story.
What are we going to do with Han's
But that
character?
was why they killed
Carbonite.
him in the sequel trilogy, because that's what he originally wanted, was Han Solo to die, to push the story forward somehow.
I
Because
just
he felt that the character was uninteresting.
Me and Chris brought this up. People hate those movies, the latest trilogy and all that, and I was like, yeah, like there's just missed opportunities, like the reuniting of, the three actors when they had the chance, they didn't take it, and then they lost it because she passed away. It was like
That was Rian Johnson's fault.
What a giant fuck up! How did
They
you
also
have
didn't
that?
know she was gonna die.
How did you have that on the checklist? Hey, we're getting everybody.
Oh,
back,
how did you not
gang
know she
back
was going to
together.
die? She was old. They had her fucking taking pills to get thin again, and then she died on a fucking airplane ride. And she was a drug addict in her younger years. How do you expect her to not die?
Yeah, she
You
was.
put her back on tour, and you fucking required her to lose like half her body weight.
Well, didn't her mom pass away and then she died?
No.
Or was the other
She
way
died,
around?
and then her mom died a day later because she
Right.
couldn't live without her daughter.
Right. That was sad. They
And it's a
lived
shame
together
for
forever.
Carrie Fisher's brother, who had to fucking go on the rest of his life without like both his mother and his sister
Yeah.
within a day of each other. It's
I remember
fucked.
watching that. That was sad. That was a sad documentary. But yeah, so those movies did miss those opportunities, and that pissed fans off for sure. But I
But
think
they don't know what it's like to really make a movie. I mean, like, I work as a Limelight as a producer, and even with Imperial Pictures, we like to make a lot of horror, comedy, smut, and stuff like that. When you're making these own stories, you don't know what's going to happen to your star. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tomorrow's not promised to nobody, and like your vision
And trying to
can't get
capitalize.
complete without your other parts. You know what I mean? Those parts won't fit in. Like even Salvador Dali, he was successful and everything, but it wasn't until he found a partner, like a wife, that was like doing all these, like doing the corporate part, so he could just be free to be a genius.
Steve Jobs had Steve Wozniak.
Yeah,
That's
no,
always
everybody
forgotten.
needs somebody.
Hell,
man.
even
You're-
John Wayne had John Ford. John Wayne was a terrible fucking actor before John Ford created the John Wayne character that we know with the.
Kind of
Because
the
if you
hard-
watch his early movies, they're terrible. He's not a great actor.
right,
But then John Ford was like, do it like this, and then it's like, and he
just be a gruff
stayed that
cowboy.
fucking
You need-
same
you need
character
your-
for every
yeah.
movie after that.
You need that other person, to spark your thing, to keep you in line, and to help you navigate it. Like even saying the Imperial Pictures that I'm working with, I write these incredible stories, but they're so they're so I don't know. There's too many layers because of the genius that he's able to. My friend Joe Patrick is able to turn them into scripts. You know what I mean? And the stories are epic, but like, how do you turn that epic story into a script? And that's what he helps me do.
Right.
And it's really hard being a filmmaker and creating these stories, and then trying to tell the audience that and see they have them get your vision, and you come back with all these fucking nerds going, well, actually, what you were really thinking,
Yeah.
Yep.
okay, shut the. I mean,
And honestly, that's why George Lucas sold Star Wars, because
It was
there's
done with all
there's
that.
no bigger
It's like,
enemy to Star Wars than the Star Wars fans, because they're just so
Vicious.
fucking toxic.
let
And
people
they're
like
vicious.
shit,
it comes
you know?
from a place that, like, I think that
Some of them, the most
they're-
vocal are.
they're very near and dear to people's hearts. They're
Listen.
extremely, extremely nostalgic. Everybody remembers growing up with Star Wars, so it's like, it's almost like playing with your friends and like telling you like your friends didn't make it out in the end, and it's like people took that hard. This is Luke, Leia, and Han. This is fucking the core of Star Wars. Like, whether you're a prequel or whatever fan, like, these are the people that made Star Wars what Star Wars is. Nobody gave a fuck about Star Wars until, and then these movies came out and changed people's lives and changed the movie industry itself with, George Lucas's vision with special effects and industrial light and magic
ILM, that's
and,
one of the
and
best documentaries.
Skywalker
Watch
sound
that
and
documentary.
all of that
I'm
stuff.
still curious about how they make explosions in space. That was my first wait, that doesn't make
And you look at the
sense.
domino effect of specifically George Lucas, because then George Lucas bought the $50 million Skywalker Ranch estate, put out Howard the Duck, and Howard the Duck failed. So to recoup his money, he sold his animation division to Steve Jobs, which turned out to be Pixar.
Right.
Pixar made Toy Story, got bought by Disney, and that's why it's like a
other
domino
thing-
effect just from George Lucas himself. The man was
Lucas
a
Yep. Is it-
invented digital editing. He was actually the mind and person who invested and pushed for non-physical edit. He said the physical editing process is so
Cutting
fucking
actual
time
tape, you
consuming.
mean.
Yeah.
It just destroys like actually making.
That's
these
why they don't make
film. It's
2D
his
movies
least
anymore.
favorite part of it. So yeah, he was the mind and the engine behind getting digital editing created, and Pixar, ILM, Lucas, beyond just Star Wars, is one of the most impactful filmmakers to ever exist.
For gaming as well. Lucas
Gaming, yes.
100%, because we
Actually,
wouldn't have
support the
mocap
arts,
or any of
everybody.
that stuff.
Disney just, I think, brought the gaming division under one Lucas Arts thing now. I think
No,
all
the
the
arts
Star
are
Wars
so
games,
important.
all
Makes
Star
sense.
Wars games are going to go through that now.
Yeah.
So I think Fallen Jedi, which you're playing now, is going to tie in heavy with that.
If the
Fallen
AI
Order.
doesn't start creating
Fallen
the art
Order,
for
sorry.
us.
Jedi Survivors,
Survivors,
the new
the-
one.
I would love to see what AI, like, if AI could write a script for Star Wars.
Didn't you
I
guys use that
wonder.
on your last
Hey,
podcast? You guys were
ChatGPT,
playing with that?
write us
We
a
did
Star
play a
Wars
little
plot.
bit around with ChatGPT.
What is it called?
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Oh yeah, chat. Yeah. Because
That's
I was
interesting,
watching that and that was funny.
I wonder if we could
ChatGPT
do
is
that.
one
Like,
of
write
them.
me a script, a one-page
Star
script for
Wars.
I
Star
made her.
Wars.
I made her watch the Indiana
I did.
Jones and
Things are starting
Yeah,
to
no,
heat
that
up.
was really funny. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
Tomb
that's
Raider.
no, because as a
ChatGPT.
creative, I thought that I was safe from the AI takeover because I'm a creative. Like, you can't, generate creativity in a fucking 101.
I think Indiana
box,
Jones
but
learned a
nope.
valuable
Here they
lesson
are.
in this today.
Begs the question,
Take it
can
on the
computers
screen, but-
think?
Yeah,
That
I mean,
was
we're
so
like, I
much
thought it was
fun.
the creativity, but no.
I'm going to take a...
I want to ask ChatGPT who shot first, Han or...
Han only shot. I have the fucking tapes that are untouched.
Shots fired.
I have the original fucking tape where George Lucas didn't fuck with Star Wars yet, and you'll clearly see that he doesn't say anything. Greedo just dies, and Han just shoots. And I don't know why they decided to make it that Greedo shoots and then he shoots.
So
Because Han was pulling out his gun the entire time. So the scene doesn't lend itself to think that Han was just having an innocent conversation. Han was premeditated to kill Greedo the second they fucking sat down. So don't tell me that fucking
So,
Han didn't shoot
I can
first.
appreciate that whole explanation, Rob, but I'm curious if ChatGPT understands that.
Right, if
ChatGPT.
he's not invested emotionally, like Rob says, the fans are, gets really sensitive.
Who shot
Very
first,
sensitive.
Han or
Sensitive,
I'm
Rob.
feeling
Greedo?
sensitive right now.
Is
Aw.
Greedo
It's
with an
okay,
I or
Greedo.
2 E's?
Aw.
Greedo.
Greedo.
That's what I thought.
If it was only one E, it would be Gredo.
I don't think I can. No. I'm saying. Was it Grido or
G-R-E-D-O.
Yeah, like
Greedo.
they sound like Guido, but like
Guido? Yeah,
Guido.
exactly.
Tuta,
I don't know if I can get this on the screen here, but I'm asking ChatGPT who shot first.
I don't know. I was having some weird dreams though about Jar Jar
Who
Binks
shot
as a
you?
Barbie doll.
That ain't it.
Oh, pussy! What do you think I'm Lisa screwing?
Oh my god, it was weird. It was like because I was like like I don't know, subconscious.
I said,
Maybe
yeah,
it was
woo,
you.
woo, woo, woo.
It was bad in the new Barbie movie. Like, I was
All
like,
right, I'm
My
gonna try to
tongue
get this
was
up on the
stuck, my
screen
tongue.
here.
this is cool.
Properties.
I gotta know my competition.
Get
Yeah,
this-
right.
Fucking robots. I'm like Mando on this one though. I don't break for droids.
Hey, Mando.
I get mad at my vibrator, which I'm dating. Shit like that.
Only good vibes.
I'm telling you.
All
like
right.
yeah, no.
We
Don't
got,
break for droids. Fucking taking over my goddamn.
Don't break for droids.
Creative
Yeah, we're
job.
gonna make that bumper sticker and stick it on the Razor Crest.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Don't break for droids.
We got it up on the screen here. Who shot first, Han
Who
or
shot you?
Greedo? In the original 19th, Rob, you read this.
I can't see it. Her.
Can't see
In
it.
the original 1977 theatrical release of Star Wars episode, what's that for?
Episode 4.
Okay, in the original 1977 theatrical release of Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope, it was depicted that Han Solo shot Greedo first in the cantina scene on the planet of Tatooine. However, in the 1997 re-release, George Lucas made changes to the scene, adding a shot by Greedo before Han shoots him. This caused controversy among the fans who prefer the original version. Ultimately, the answer to the question depends on which version of the film you're referring to.
Dumb.
So there you go. It got it. What other Star Wars questions do you think we can ask this thing?
Why is Moff Gideon so old?
Yeah. Why are
It's
the
not
clones-
gonna know.
why are the
It's
clones
not
so
gonna
old?
know.
No, why are the
It's
clones
too
so old?
recent. It only goes up to
I see.
2021.
Okay.
Who was hotter, Bib Fortuna?
Who is more conventionally attractive, Pip Fortuna or Salacious Crumb?
I don't know.
This is a deep. If we can pull up a
Salacious
picture.
Who would win in a fight, Grogu or
Yoda.
Yoda?
Yoda. Yoda
Oh,
would
yeah,
definitely
I
win.
guess.
Or
Yoda would crush anyone.
Salacious Crumb.
Yeah.
As both Bib
Convention
Fortuna and
franchise.
Salacious Crumb are
Love
fictional
it.
characters with non-humanoid features in a Star Wars franchise, it is not possible to apply conventional human standards of attractiveness to them. They are designed to have distinctive and unique appearances that reflect their species and personalities
That's
in the
very
Star Wars
that's very
universe.
direct.
Therefore, it would be inappropriate and irrelevant to compare
See? Stop
their
sexualizing
physical
everything.
appearances in terms of conventional human beauty
Then we asked it if
standards.
who's
Oh my
more
God, it literally
conventionally
is like,
attractive,
stop
Bib Fortuna,
sexualizing
Salacious
Oh my
robots.
Crumb?
god.
Oh my
Can
God, that's
can Star
hilarious.
Wars droids
Can we pull
have
up their
sex?
photos?
Can Star Wars droids have sex? Well, I mean, R2-D2 sticks his dick in every fucking Imperial computer they come across.
It's true. It's true. All right. In the Star Wars universe, droids are depicted as being programmed for specific tasks and functions, such as protocols, astromech, or combat roles. They are not designed or programmed for sexual functions or reproduction. Therefore, it is not possible for droids to engage in sexual activities. Nor do they have the biological characteristics required for reproduction. While some droids in Star Wars franchise may have human-like personalities, emotions, or behaviors, they are still fundamentally machines and not capable of sexual reproduction.
What are you guys doing?
Having fun with ChatGPT.
We're getting some
and
good
Star
info
Wars.
from ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT a Star Wars question.
Any question about Star Wars? What did you guys ask?
Well, we asked who's more attractive, Salacious Crumb, Bib Fortuna, and we asked who shot first, Han or Greedo, which it nailed the answer.
Wow, it did.
It did.
Let's
Let's see.
I feel like something about midichlorians we could ask.
Was Anakin Skywalker created by Darth Plagueis?
Who was Anakin Skywalker's father? Let's do that. We won't ask
Okay.
it a leading question first.
Okay.
It's going to be like Immaculate Conception.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, but
Unless the Emperor... No,
In the
Emperor
Plagueis
couldn't
book-
have- The Emperor never was even on Tatooine. There's no way he could have...
oh,
Who?
read the Plagueis book.
Oh, yeah. He
Yeah,
was
we
on
gotta
Tatooine.
do the play,
Oh, yeah.
which is not
Everyone-
canon, by the way.
Not canon. It's legend.
Oh, it's not canon.
Not canon.
anymore.
According to
it's
the Star
original.
Wars prequel trilogy, Anakin Skywalker's mother, Shmi Skywalker, claimed that she had conceived him through the Force without a father. She told Qui-Gon Jinn that she carried and gave birth to Anakin as a result of mysterious occurrence that she could not explain. This led to the speculation that Anakin might have been conceived through the Force, making him the chosen one who would bring balance to the Force. You were supposed to bring balance to the Force!
It's
However, the exact nature of Anakin's conception is left open to interpretation, and it remains a mystery in the Star Wars canon.
man.
It's tweak. We could try to see if it'll if ChatGPT knows about Darth Plagueis the Wise, that says something.
Yeah, I think that. I mean,
Darth
he's officially part of the lore, but I don't. The book is not part of the canon. Well, obviously he's a part of the lore because it's stated so plainly. You know what's interesting about the Plagueis book too? That on the timeline, Plagueis is still alive.
PLAG.
UES.
That's what I did. I corrected. UES, isn't it? UEIS.
UES.
UES. Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Let's just see how it responds to that.
Let's see.
Well,
It
there's
is a
an
story
eye.
that was not
I
told.
see
by
the
the
eye.
cat.
It seems to
awesome.
understand.
Yes, I am familiar with the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. It is a story that was told by the character of Chancellor Palpatine, who was later revealed to be the Sith Lord Darth Sidious, to Anakin Skywalker in the movie Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. According to the story, Darth Plagueis was a powerful Sith Lord who had the ability to manipulate the Force to create and sustain life. However, his own apprentice, Darth Sidious, eventually betrayed and killed him in his sleep, which Palpatine claims was the way of the Sith.
Rule of two.
The story was intended to lure Anakin, and I can't read, Skywalker to the dark side of the Force by tempting him with the power to save his loved one.
I have the power to save the ones you love.
For a nickel.
Wow.
Cheddar.
That's pretty good, man. ChatGPT is definitely up.
It knows.
Here's a good question from the audience. From the Dungeon asks, is Grogu really Yoda's offspring?
No, they're
They're
the
not
same
gonna know that.
species.
It's gonna be like, well, we can't really tell. But
Don't forget, there's Yaddle too. Maybe it's fucking
Yeah, and
Yaddles.
I think there's good evidence that would support the
Yoda
idea.
and Yaddle got it on.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, the
Grogu.
lady
To
Yoda.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I remember seeing her.
In Yoda's eyes, it would be to continue.
Voiced by
race.
Bryce
Yeah, I mean,
Dallas
like-
Howard.
hold
who
on a
tells
What
us
happened to
that.
Yoda's planet? Like, you know when they have like the scene where they have like other species of characters? They've never seen another
So,
Yoda-looking
Yoda,
guy.
This
the
is
planet that
actually-
Yoda's on isn't actually his planet. It's a planet that is
But what about
so.
his species?
Well, his species is another thing, but just I want to mention that planet that Yoda was on. He was hiding there because it
Dagobah?
had so much so
yeah,
much
yeah,
dark
no,
energy.
I get that. I'm not saying his planet. I'm talking about his species.
It's
So,
original
Like,
so this
like
is
when,
this is a story. So George Lucas specifically had rules when people made expanded universe books. They were not allowed to kill Han or Luke, and they were not allowed to name Yoda's species. That was a very taboo thing with George Lucas. So specifically, they have not, for specific reasons or whatever.
specific reasons.
They have
what
not.
reasons are
They
they?
have not.
What are those specific
revealed
reasons?
He didn't
Yoda's
have a good enough
species.
idea yet.
Now,
Right. See, that's what I'm thinking. Like that's why I'm poking the bear. You know, the cocaine bear.
if I had my own speculation as to Yoda, I would think that he's probably one of the Wills, because if you look at the very first working title of Star Wars, it's called From the Journal of the Wills, Chapter 1, The Star Wars.
Right.
They never explain who the Wills are. They're just like
gods.
they're like overseers, almost like Owatu the
Uatu,
Watcher
yeah.
or something like that. So if they explained it that Yoda is from the ancient species of the Wills who, catalog the universe and shit,
Right.
and maybe Grogu is the last of the Wills, or believed to
Will
be,
of the
because Yoda's
It's
gone,
Okay,
It's
I have a question for the computer. Who would win in a fight, Mario from Mario Brothers or Peter Griffin? Do they know those characters?
That is a good question. We can ask
Well,
that.
he can jump.
I just
I
want to
don't-
mention that for the question, is Grogu Yoda's child? It did some math here that I wonder how what it tells
So
us.
they're
Space
saying
math.
that Grogu was born the same year Anakin was born.
Here you go. This is pretty. You want me to read it or?
Yeah, read it off there, Vin.
So the answer to is Grogu Yoda's child is no. Grogu, also known as the child or baby Yoda, is not Yoda's son. In the Star Wars timeline, Grogu is born around 41 BBY before the Battle of Yavin, which is roughly 50 years before the events of the original Star Wars movie, Star Wars Episode
4.
I'm
New
sorry,
Hope.
yeah, it says 4.
Four,
Yeah, Episode 4, New Hope.
And then
Yoda, on the other hand, died in Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, at the age of 900, which takes place about 4 years after the events of the original movie. Yoda also belonged to a different species than Grogu.
That I don't know if
see?
And
that's
there is
true.
no indication in the Star Wars canon that
Why would
Yoda
the robot
had
lie?
any children. Therefore, it is safe to say that Grogu is not Yoda's son.
I don't think
that's
that's true though.
No,
I
he's
thought
the same
you-
species.
He's the same species.
No, they look different.
Well, the
No.
computer.
I
Grogu's
don't
eyes
think
are
so.
so much bigger. Like
He's
Yoda's
a
eyes
baby.
are different.
Yeah,
Baby.
they,
No.
Because look at a human. A human is
No,
born with the
Grogu-
same size eyes their whole life. and
Grogu
they
has
just- head
fox
just grows
eyes.
around
Yoda
to
has
it.
human eyes. Different.
No.
Like,
he
like a
does
dog
have the
with
big
human
black eyes, whereas
Yeah, no,
whereas,
no, it's all in the eyes. No,
say
the
the-
robot said
I
it.
would say the math looks accurate, but definitely I don't know about the rest because that would have to come from somewhere.
I saw a
We would
theory
have
that,
to, like,
that,
So
Yoda,
that
that
means-
Grogu
That would
was
be
like
in-
the opposite
So
to the yin
Grogu's
to the
gonna
yang
live
of
900
Anakin.
years. That's gonna
Grogu
be
has
sad for them for good old Din.
Grogu has the potential to
How
live
long?
for-
How much? Din is like his parrot.
That's why I said Din is.
Oh,
is,
look. Din, yeah, we won't see Din in the
Yeah.
sequel trilogies if we with
It's like reverse
Ray.
Joey.
I saw they brought back Boyega too, John Boyega.
Really?
Yeah, they probably
For
took
what?
a boatload of money to get him.
Yeah,
back.
because
I
they
called
fucked
that.
him over for
I
that
said they're gonna
previous-
bring him
Yeah.
back.
He said he was never coming back.
He
It
said
was just
that,
he
but
ate
I
his
mean,
words.
you give him enough
Check,
money
sir.
and an apology, I'm sure he'd be willing to.
I think
Money-
you know
money
who's
is-
Enough
who's
money.
That
personally-
and the
I'm
fact that he has
you know
nothing
who's
else going
personally
on.
going around? Bob Iger.
What about him being in it?
No, Bob Iger's personally been going around like reestablishing relationships with certain Disney talent and
Yeah, well, Bob
cleaning-
Chapek did such a
the
fucking
clean
good job. You know?
house on Marvel for certain reasons. And actually, funny enough, Pat McAfee and Bob Iger were in a picture together.
Yeah,
Because
saw
Disney
that.
owns ESPN, so I was like, wow, that's that's crazy.
Really rubbing shoulders with
Yeah, yeah,
everybody
that's-
that you fucking love.
And Bob Iger's from he's a pretty regular, call him a regular guy. he's from regular means. You know what I mean? He wasn't born like some wealthy kid. He's a regular kind of guy, considering the heights that he went to. But yeah, I think he's reestablishing a lot of relationships with some talent that things got rough.
It's too bad he can't stay, but I think they only signed a 2-year.
Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
want him
well, they'll
forever. They
extend
want him
that
to
shit.
die, the CEO.
But the
he could
thing
be
is,
president
I
if he
think that
wanted.
he's going to probably groom somebody
want
to
it.
like take over his spot, like the
He
right
tried, and then Bob Chapek fucking did like a total U-turn on everything he thought he taught him.
way.
We'll probably see that in the book one day. I can't wait.
I'm sure.
See, that's why you don't take apprentices.
Yeah, if you
kill you.
read the Darth Plagueis book, don't take apprentices. The rule of 2 is
I mean,
always
I blame Ben Kenobi for the whole entire universe problem.
No,
true.
you can't blame Ben Kenobi. If you're gonna blame somebody, blame Yoda.
He's the Benemy.
Listen,
Yoda.
Yoda was
What did
blind to
Yoda
the
do?
It wasn't Yoda.
Yeah,
it
right?
wasn't Yoda's fault.
It was Yoda's
So-
fault because number one,
Blah,
he could
blah,
have
blah,
made
blah,
Anakin
blah,
part of
blah,
the
blah,
council.
blah.
Number
It was-
2, he
No.
lost to the Emperor. If
He
he
wasn't
killed the
Anakin's-
Emperor,
It was the
none
will.
of this shit would have happened.
No,
the
Yoda
will-
literally said, "Let's not do this."
It was the will
Well,
of
the Emperor
Force.
beat him.
Yeah.
The Emperor beat him in lightsaber combat, and if
No.
Yoda won, then Darth
No,
Vader would
Ben
have
was
just
too
died on
attached
Mustafar, and
to
the
what's his
fucking whole
name?
thing would have ended.
It was
That the red guy
will-
killed. No.
And it's great too in the Plagueis book. They cover this. They talk about how is the Force shrouded. You remember when Yoda speaks to, we can't see, like our vision has been.
the dark side is.
So
Oh,
what
'cause it's
happens
dark
in
in
the
here.
Plagueis book is him
Oh.
and Plagueis and Sidious meditate on this idea that they're going
Mm.
to force the dark side higher into, like, they're gonna
Push the
blanket
dark side into the light?
Force. Yeah, exactly. They were
Push
gonna
some shit from the
force the
The
dark
Force?
side over where it wasn't before. Let's say.
That shadowy era.
When you get to read the book, you'll see what I'm saying. But they did it, like, and it was, and Plagueis says, like, it was the will of the Force to accept it, because what they were expecting was the Force would fight back and use the midichlorians to kill him and Sidious, but the Force accepted this shroud that they laid upon it, and it was a sign that things were out of balance, that the light was actually corrupted
Yep.
due to its politic and so on, and
So
required
Anakin
the
actually did bring balance to the Force by wiping out the Jedi, effectively, and making it truly balanced between
by
light side,
birthing-
dark side.
By birthing his children, he built balance to the Force. That was actually, I think,
Lots of pressure.
the long. He's the chosen one to bring balance, but it's his children that are the balance. I don't think it's Anakin himself.
I
But
think
Anakin
it was
is the
him
reset
killing Palpatine, because that whole battle was fought between the two of them. Ultimately, he was the one that killed Palpatine.
button. Right, that's true.
You are the chosen one.
You were supposed to. Yeah, that's the blindness of the Jedi. It's funny too, and beyond the movies, a lot of the backstory is like how political. It's a lot of Ahsoka's story actually. How political the Jedi Council is.
Yeah.
How out of whack with the true Jedi.
It's like toxic
intense.
positivity.
Almost, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
it's because I would consider myself a gray
good way to
Jedi.
put
I'm
it.
an anti-hero. Like, protect the weak, but also believes in murder.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, but
Great
not
Jedi.
murking a bunch of fucking babies. I think that Ben has some explaining to do.
Nah,
we
Ben
talking
did the
about?
best that he
It's all
could.
spicy
What are you talking
when
about?
I'm telling you,
I don't even know who you're
think
talking
about it.
What is your
Qui-Gon
your
Jinn was the
cousin?
father that Anakin needed, and he died, and it became
so
Ben's
spicy.
fucking problem. And Ben did the best he could.
I
with
thought you
what
meant
the
Ben
cards he
Solo
was
for a
dealt.
second. You mean
No.
Obi-Wan?
Ben, yeah,
All
Ben
right.
Kenobi.
All
She
right,
does-
who would win in a
she
fight?
hates
Ben
Obi-Wan.
Ben
Kenobi.
brings balance.
Who
to
would
the
win in a
Force.
fight? Ben Kenobi or real life Peter Griffin? Let them fight each other.
Oh.
Obi-Wan Kenobi would
Let's
kick
see.
my ass. He'd be like, "Hello there."
Where are
The
we?
That'd be
Jedi
over.
are woke.
What about
according
Mario
to the
though?
dungeon.
I think Mario and Peter
Mario would
Griffin.
not stand a chance against the Jedi.
What
Ben,
about
oh,
Peter
there you
Griffin?
are. You're still in the
Probably.
shot
Who would
with
win,
me
Mario
here,
or?
so.
He could literally throw a fireball at me, and I would die.
All right.
Dude, you literally have the best lawyers because you go into all kinds of shenanigans.
Blah.
They're probably going to be like, well, Obi-Wan would kill the real-life Peter Griffin because he can do the Force, and the real-life Peter Griffin can't. But let's see. Who would win
Who says he can't? He's done the Force in some movies,
in
right?
a fight?
I don't have the Force.
Peter Griffin is a variant of all kinds
If
of
I had
things.
the Force, I would never get up for remotes again.
Yeah.
The Jedi are actually, beyond woke, broken by politic, broken
Yeah, no, it's
broken
like-
by their
Hubris.
by their power. Yeah,
No,
It
that
literally
toxic
said exactly
positivity
what
is
I
too
said here.
much.
As Obi-Wan Kenobi is a skilled Jedi master trained in the use of the Force and lightsaber combat, and Peter Griffin is a fictional character from the television show Family Guy who does not possess any extraordinary abilities or training. It's safe to say that in a fight between the two, Obi-Wan Kenobi would likely emerge as the victor.
Nice.
Obi-Wan's training in the Force is given to the mastery and blah, 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 blah.
Nice. I like
can
that.
fist fight a chicken, but I can't fight Obi-Wan.
I like that.
Well, that's the
I
thing.
like that.
Peter does, when he fights that chicken.
Listen, yeah, we've seen Han Peter.
Yeah, exactly. He's used the Force. He's been so many variants.
He used the Force
Han
in a
doesn't
chicken
have
fight.
The Force, but the Force protects Han. That's what I think. I feel like the Force.
That's not how the Force works.
It's not how the Force works.
Okay, how about Homer Simpson and Peter Griffin?
Oh.
We did have that fight.
But did the computer decide?
No.
The all-knowing computer knows everything.
No.
Yes.
Well, we're way off the rails there, but
Oh,
yeah, it's giving us the
Sorry.
same
really
type of
enjoyed
All right.
Star Wars discussion. We can't.
Star Wars.
Okay.
Yeah, what Star Wars questions can we ask ChatGPT here? Get one or two more.
Why?
Who is the most powerful Sith of all time?
That's a good one.
Bane.
All right, let's
Would it be Mark Aragnos?
Let me get
Would
that
it
back on
be
here.
Darth.
It goes back to then. Yeah.
who is the
Malak.
sexiest Sith
You know,
of
How
all those
about-
guys.
Who's to blame?
Darth Bane.
Probably gonna say Bane, I think. But
They might even say
Plagueis
the
would-
How
Emperor
did Bane,
because
I gotta
you got to
read the
think
book. I
about
was
it.
thinking, how did Bane kill all the Sith? I forget.
When they do the rule of two, each Sith is a direct descendant of the previous Sith. So I think that the Emperor, that's why they say
He's the
that
culmination
corny line in
of-
the end. He's like, I am all the Sith, because he's the
true.
training and culmination of
Yeah.
several generations direct.
And he's used other
It's
vessels,
it's
right?
the exact. Well, no, it's the exact result of pure competition.
let's see.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's like
I mean,
accelerated
Goku wouldn't
Darwinism.
Be anywhere
You
without
take-
Vegeta and otherwise.
With the rule of two is
You know?
that
I like
you
good
take
friendly
an apprentice,
competition.
and then the apprentice kills you, and then your apprentice takes an apprentice,
And it can
then their
only kill
apprentice
you when
kills
it's
them.
stronger than you.
Exactly.
Master
Yeah.
be- yeah,
All right, let's see what
apprentice becomes
ChatGPT says here. The Star Wars franchise has portrayed several powerful Sith throughout its history, each with its unique strengths and abilities. However, it is difficult to determine definitively who is the most powerful Sith Lord of all time, as it is a matter of interpretation, blah, 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 blah. All right, some of the most powerful Sith Lords in Star Wars canon include Darth Sidious, Emperor Palpatine, who was able to manipulate the entire galaxy and defeat several powerful Jedi. Darth Plagueis, who is known for his ability to manipulate the Force and create and sustain life, and Darth Revan, who is a skilled warrior and strategist with a profound understanding of the Force. Other notable Sith Lords include Darth Vader, Darth Bane, Exar Kun, Mark Aragnos, among others. Ultimately, the answer to this question is subjective and depends on blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
blah,
you're
blah.
so fucking.
ChatGPT is always not
like,
picking sides.
maybe.
Doesn't
Pick a
want-
fucking guy.
It's there for information. It's not there to tell you.
Yeah, the
It's not-
robot's not picking sides. I don't like this.
If you ask for
Pick a side,
if you-
robot.
well, here, be careful. Don't ask for a god.
Oh no, that's what I want.
Don't
If you're
ask
gonna
for a
take my
god.
job, I want this fucking god life thing that just
No,
tells me,
no,
you know,
Don't do that.
don't even look at
God
the
would be
map quest.
subjective
It
too,
just,
and it would piss people off.
oh yeah, no,
answers
God's,
won't be
God's
good enough.
sensitive.
But that's why you always.
I'm with
kill
Rick
the god.
Sanchez on that though.
Like, I don't like that answer. Fuck that answer, and then you'll kill
Fuck that answer.
it.
Anakin Skywalker.
Fuck
I was
the
gonna.
king
Oh,
is
so the
God.
funny thing
Fuck
about
the
the way
king.
Chris is reading this off actually is, if you watch the Clone Wars, every episode has an intro voiceover instead of the credit scroll, and it's literally just like that voice. It's legit just like that voice.
This is a good one. Does Anakin Skywalker lose his dick in the fire? Right? He lost.
What is this?
Very
There's no
important
indication in the Star Wars canon that Anakin Skywalker lost his genitals or any other body parts in the fire. That's not true. He
Well,
lost
to be
his fucking
fair,
legs.
he does say that he's more machine now than man.
He
so-
lost a couple of body parts.
I'm sure that includes a lot of things.
While Anakin suffered severe burns and
He lost
injuries
an
during
arm
the
and two
fight,
legs.
the
Maybe
details of his
3.
injury is not specific. Therefore, it's safe to assume that Anakin did not lose his genitals in the
Nice.
fire.
Just burned balls.
Yeah, but he was laying in lava. What do you mean his
Yeah, I
dick
think
didn't burn
I'm
off?
pretty
but
sure
maybe
it would have
the
got caught
Face
up in
down, he was laying in that shit.
Yeah.
He at least burned his dick.
I hate you.
We wanted it to tell us yes.
Yeah, we
Anakin's
we
dick
want
was
you to
burned
give us the
What?
answer.
Anakin's dick was burned off.
What? Come on now.
Now he's Mannequin Skywalker.
Who ruined the galaxy?
It's too broad.
I know.
You were the chosen one, Bananakin.
Bananakin? dope.
Yeah, Darth Revan was definitely.
I appreciate that Hells is still trying to win. I'm gonna give you guys a clue for the number for 1 to 100 as we wind down here.
What's it over?
Oh, good.
It was somebody's rating without the
Jesus.
period between,
Specific.
if there was a period at all.
If you guys don't get this, you gotta
There's
watch.
your clue. Look at everybody.
Yeah.
Think of everybody's ratings. May have even been in the comments.
4,
Already
2.
said.
Do we have Jedi Survivor on pre-order?
Yes.
I got 7.
I
It's
might
not
as
7.
well. I don't know if
Yes.
I got to double check. Actually,
Day
Joe probably
one,
already-
it became available. I bought the bougie version and everything.
There you go. Okay.
I was
ready.
not fucking around. And
Yeah.
I'm actually replaying Fallen Order just to get the story back because I do not fucking remember.
I vaguely remember. I do remember the end with Vader, and it was fucking very cool. So, yeah, that
I don't
game
even
was
remember that,
huge
so
hit.
I'm like, you know what? I
Sorry
played the
for
shit
ruining it.
so long ago. It's like
You platinumed it too. You
I did
fucking
platinum it,
That's the thing with platinums, though. You fucking.
but the
burn
PS5
through
version doesn't have a platinum, so
it.
I'm gonna have to platinum it all over again.
Oh, you mean there is a PS5?
There's
platinum?
a PS5,
Gotcha.
trophy
The
system,
Game Plus shit.
and carrying your shit over does not
Satisfy
give you
those, yeah.
everything.
No, I can't wait for that game. I definitely I enjoyed it. I found the beginning of Fallen Order to be a little tedious because you have 0 fucking abilities. So it actually makes the combat feel like one-dimensional, but it's on purpose. Like your
Try harder.
your character grows. Yeah, get good, as we like to say. Yeah, that was a game that grew as you got more abilities. It really became really good. And the story was excellent. I thought it was a good story
0
about
skills.
the fall, Order 66. It's always it's a pinnacle moment in the Star Wars universe, and it's a great place to tell stories. So we've seen that. Actually, that's another Mandalorian scene that was very cool. I forgot about was his escape from Coruscant.
Yeah, the redemption of Ahmed Best.
Poor guy. They tried multiple times. He's been in like a couple of things, but this one really paid off.
This one
for him.
really, yeah.
He was. I forgot what the other.
He saved everybody's favorite character. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Come with me if you want to live. Basically,
Does he die at the end of that, or does he
He's the
make it?
no, he
Terminator.
makes it.
I wonder where he is now. They
They
don't tell you, right?
Was he the one that they referenced in that cave?
What you talking about?
In
The cave. You got to give us the cave quote.
the Obi-Wan show. Remember the Obi-Wan show where Obi-Wan finds the writings in the cave?
Oh, right.
Was that the same? Was that him? they were talking
Oh, I
about?
see. I know what you're talking about when
Yeah,
when he's in
remember
like
there
the
was,
secret
some guy
room.
that they were. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
Oh, I remember you saying. I don't know. The Jedi Master that was there before.
Yeah, I
Obi-Wan
remember that
got there.
shit.
And that's what sparks Obi-Wan to kind of return to the Force.
Yeah,
It's like this
it
whole-
makes sense why Grogu was on Tatooine then. Was he on Tatooine or
No.
what planet was he on?
He's been on Navarro. He's been on.
Was
where
Navarro
Grogu?
where they found him
where
originally?
was Grogu found? Tatooine sounds right.
Right? Wasn't it
'Cause they were in
Tatooine?
the
That's where
bar.
he meets the Ugnaught and all that shit.
Right.
So it would make sense if. Although it's kind of crazy that Obi-Wan was on the same planet as Grogu and didn't know about him.
Obi-Wan was a stalker. He was watching those kids all weird, like the old man on Family Guy.
You just hate fucking
I do.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I do.
Hate Obi-Wan?
I
Jeez.
banned
How the fuck do you
Obi-Wan.
hate Obi-Wan
I don't
Kenobi?
hate him. I
He's
just think
great.
it's his fault. Like you
not
just
his
watching it,
fault.
I was just like, God damn it.
So
What's he
could've
supposed
done
to do? Take him back to Tatooine? Sorry, kid, you're a slave
I
again
mean,
because
he
Qui-Gon
Basically
died?
stayed there and watched him
Fuck
grow
outta
up.
here.
So we got a
Thank
question
you.
from the dungeon. He said, "Who are the Sith in the Ahsoka show?" And we don't know, but this guy was cast, and originally I thought he was going to be Pelion, but they already showed Pelion as a different guy. Apparently, this guy, he's the guy that you see with like the orange or the red lightsaber.
To me, it
Okay.
looks of an age where he could have been a former Jedi, and he's a fallen Jedi.
He looks like
Well,
that.
that's what the
this
Inquisitors
is what we
are.
got so far.
Well, I know so Filoni makes mention of the orange lightsaber.
baloney.
So it is orange.
It is orange.
I
He
like
said
that orange saber.
Filoni was saying he didn't say like it's a storytelling thing specifically. He was like, "Oh, I remember when I watched Star Wars on TV. Vader's lightsaber kind of flickered a little like orange,
yeah.
and it wasn't as red. Blah blah blah." He's like, "I kind of want to bring that up. You guys have a good eye for picking up on that." And I was like, "It's a fucking storytelling element because the whole thing about the kyber crystal going red is part of their
corrupted, yeah.
is part of their journey to the Sith, and I'm wondering, can it be reversed or does it walk back? I don't.
How does it dark saber
Can
work?
Sith come back?
The dark
That's a good
saber
question.
was created
Or an
by the
Inquisitor,
Mandalorians, and
I
not
was
made
thinking
with
he's
the
a former
Force, but with
Inquisitor or something.
technology.
So the stone.
Someone was saying
Wait.
Oh.
She asked, "How was the dark saber made?"
Yeah, because I mean, it's about it's the stone, and then it's your spirit, right? That's what makes the color.
The dark.
I mean, because I'm not like
sabers-
I don't like I'm
could
learning a lot on this show. Thank you.
That's probably a better Google because the dark saber is different than any of the lightsabers.
Like it's made out of dark matter.
It's an
That'd be fun.
inverse of a lightsaber. It's almost like because
Anti-lightsaber? 'Cause it's a
lightsabers
dark
don't
sab-
affect Beskar steel.
Oh,
'Cause
but
the
that one does.
Mandalorians and the Jedi have never gotten along actually,
Oh,
or some of them did, but the Mandalorians didn't trust the Jedi Order.
right,
shit,
right,
so,
right. Because they were
yeah.
shady.
So the dark saber was meant to fight Jedi, best of my understanding of it, and I forgot exactly how or what the forging was, what was done, and I don't know if it's a kyber crystal or not.
Right.
That'd be a good.
Let's ask ChatGPT. How was the dark saber made? It's probably gonna be like, I don't know.
I feel like that's definitely in.
Well, if they have
of
the
the episodes.
novelizations uploaded, then I'm sure somebody somewhere explained what the creation. I personally don't know. I do know that the kyber
Ooh, got a
crystals
question. That'd be good.
are what determine the
Stumpy
color
bitches.
of the blade.
Fucking nerds.
And I know that when you corrupt it with like your
Ooh.
hate and anger and shit, that's what makes it turn red.
Check this out.
It's an ancient lightsaber before the regular lightsabers. So how about that? Mhm.
Yeah, so the dark saber is an ancient and unique lightsaber that has a black rectangular blade instead of the traditional rounded blade. The story of the dark saber's creation is shrouded in mystery, and its origins are still unclear in the Star Wars canon. However, according to legend, the dark saber was created by Tar Vizsla, who would be, I guess,
Mandalorian
ancestor
Jedi.
an
Paz
antecedent of Paz Vizsla.
MJ.
The first Mandalorian Jedi, who used it during the time of the Old Republic. See, I didn't know that.
See, guy, that's a good question.
That is a good one. It is said that after Vizsla's death, the dark saber was kept as a treasured artifact by the Jedi Order for centuries until it was stolen by a group of Mandalorians.
Shady.
The weapon became a symbol of leadership for the Mandalorians, and it was passed down through their leaders for generations. During the Clone Wars, the dark saber was wielded by Pre Vizsla, the leader of Death Watch, a splinter group of Mandalorians who opposed the pacifist government of Mandalore. After Vizsla's
Interesting.
death, the dark saber fell into the hands of Darth Maul, who used it in his
Because
quest for
Death
power.
Watch were the ones that lived on that planet that didn't get destroyed.
That's all the
remember?
stuff you'll see. That's exactly what you'll see in the
Yeah.
story.
That's a good question.
That's
Though.
pretty much what
That's
we
a
got.
good way to like wrap that up.
Because remember,
right?
they even asked, "The Death Watch still exists?" And she's like, "Death Watch disbanded and
I
splintered
didn't know it
into
was
Right.
different
possessed by the
factions."
first Mandalorian Jedi. I had no idea.
See.
So
Now-
apparently, they
now-
started off as
Makes
Jedi.
more sense that Grogu
Which means
has
Grogu should wield it one day.
Grogu has foundations and the idea of being part of.
Grogu leads the
Jedi,
Mandalorians.
man.
eventually.
But the
Yeah.
dark saber is destroyed until next
Yeah,
season.
Like what'd you say? Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
you're gonna
that's-
have the armor is gonna say, just as Mandalore will be reforged, so too the dark saber will be.
But what if
You know?
Grogu doesn't ever speak like English words and he can't
He
say
will.
"I take the creed"?
His first
This is the
words are
way?
gonna be, "This is the way."
I was
calling it.
waiting for that. I was
It'll
like,
happen.
"This is the way."
Yeah, it'll happen.
No. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do. I
Yes.
do like the robot speaking for him. I did enjoy that. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
no, that
miss
was
that.
fun.
I thought IG Eleven would be like, "This
no.
is the way."
Oh yeah. Everyone,
Get out of there, no.
everyone's heart broke when Grogu got knocked back behind the double doors with the 3 Praetorian Guard. And
Oh yeah, I was like, if
Oh,
he gets
shit.
killed, that's it. Fucking everybody's
Oh, no,
canceling their
no,
Disney
no.
Plus subscription.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah. I was very confident. I thought he was
No.
going to actually go even more.
I thought he
off
was
the
going to
chain.
grab one of their batons and start flipping around like Yoda and like take him out with like a lightsaber.
Oh, I thought he was.
They're making
gonna
you wait
just
for
freeze
that.
the
That's what I
whole-
thought.
Yeah, they want.
Yeah,
they're
they
building
wanted
to
I
that.
that.
thought he
Give
was
you a
gonna
little
like
taste.
freeze the whole room, open the doors, and like just really flex the fact that he could control everything.
No, he needed all that energy for the end because that
But
was a
he's
big
too
fireball. No, that was a big fireball. That
He's
was
too little.
direct content, and he had to save all of them.
And he held that up,
that was
not
a
for
good one.
nothing. He's getting more powerful because he held up that shield for as long as he did,
Absolutely.
and he didn't faint afterwards.
And he put out
Because
the
remember,
fire.
in
Well,
the
he
first
fainted a little
season, he
bit.
would
I
he
fell.
just
Yeah.
He used to fall
raised
asleep.
that little like bowl thing and then fucking fell asleep.
I don't know.
So,
I
like,
think that they took 2 stories from
he
the
learned
Incredibles.
something from Luke.
The bad guy in the Incredibles wanted to be super, just
Right.
like Moff Gideon.
Of course.
And then the invisible girl, she was like, for my powers. And then he did the same dome thing.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
See, everything's been done.
It seems like Grogu's powers are more pacifist powers. Like,
Of course.
you know, he seems to really be
Unless he's
a
hungry.
mediator. Yeah, unless he's hungry, then he'll eat whatever.
Well, there are different types of Jedi too. There are like political Jedi that kind of like go out and speak for the Jedi Order. They're speakers, and then there are like Jedi Knights that are the fighters and stuff like that. So like it makes sense if Grogu's just not a fighter Jedi. But
We confuse Grogu's power with his age, and that's still
It's
a
true.
thing. He's powerful, but
every Jedi
he's
can
an
fight.
He's
infant,
a- he's like an
amongst
infant.
his. He's 50 years old according to the
right, which is
So
like 3
if
and
he could
dog
live to
years.
900, what does that make him?
Right.
Oh,
You do the math.
Yeah.
What does Yoda say at the end of his
Hey,
life?
ChatGPT,
When
do the math.
900 you are.
Yeah.
When
900 years old, you each look as good. You will not.
Yeah. I do. Have you guys seen the concept art around a full-grown Grogu, Din Grogu with the Darksaber and everything? Have you
Oh,
seen
and the
that?
chainmail. I haven't seen
Yeah,
it, but
he's
he'd
got
have
the
the
helmet.
chainmail. He'd
He
have the
fucking
crest
looks
over his,
cool.
Oh,
over his
yeah?
heart.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever
Teenage
get that.
Grogu. Just
He's
kidding.
definitely he's in that age group where he looks like young Yoda with
Oh.
a Mandalorian fucking helmet. And
That'd be wild.
How does the Mandalorian helmet work? Does it,
It
let
lets
the ears
his
out?
ears out, yeah,
See, I was
so-
wondering.
and it's kind of like Predator. It looks like the Predator. From,
Oh, okay.
That's
definitely
cool.
looks kind of like that.
So
Well,
does,
And he's wielding the
He's
Darksaber.
different
I was
too
like,
from the other ones
oh.
because he doesn't wear like traditional Mandalorian armor. He's got chainmail.
yeah.
He's got
Which is-
Beskar
I think that makes
chainmail.
more
He's a little babe.
Yeah.
He's a little babe.
I wonder
He
if
can't
that's
make
going
all
to
the- he
continue.
can't
with
move
And
it.
his
you have to be able
arms
to
and-
move in that. You know, it'd be
Yeah.
like that small.
His arm is
It's
like
not
that big,
come on,
It's
you
like
It's
gotta-
only gonna last so long too. He's gonna,
Right.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I just wonder if that's
He's
going to
wearing a
stay. He's
fucking
got that. He's got like the
hamburger
crest
size
now on the
fucking, like,
chest you
chest
give him.
plate.
Yeah,
I think
he got his
that'll
first little
become
chest
the
plate.
standard because that's an amulet.
Wasn't it a chest
Amulet.
piece that she put on?
Yeah,
him?
he had
Well,
his first little like
it's a
shield.
It's
Yeah.
stamped as an amulet. It's supposed to go on your. Because
His
remember,
flare.
Bo-Katan asks for one. She's like, "Can I have a
Right.
fucking this and a that?"
Yeah.
She's
A
like, "Yeah,
mythosaur.
Oh,
She was
yeah.
like,
She's
it's
like, you can have
appropriate
an
for
owl
all
and- yeah.
Mandalorians to
Chris
get
can
the
give it to us.
mythosaur.
It's appropriate for all Mandalorians.
It's appropriate for all Mandalorians.
Din Djarin, step forward. You are a Mandalorian
very
no
useful.
longer.
This is the way.
She's always like
I
talking
will
in
say though
reverse
that
like
I
Emma
would have,
Yoda.
like,
Swallow is an
cat ear
absolute
ones,
fucking
like
gem.
that.
I met her at Eternal Con last year, and she was an absolute fucking gem. Really nice lady.
Oh, that's right. You did it.
Emily
you did
Swallow.
Oh, we
Yeah.
should see if she'd come on the show. Yo,
That'd be
on
fucking
there.
wild. Imagine fucking
you should just have a
armor comes
one-on-one
down.
interview with her and be like, "Hey,
She'd
we're
probably
gonna
be
play
playing
this
with
back."
the Darth Vader helmet and shit.
Yeah, I've been trying. I want to play with that. It's like, oh,
I'll bring
She's a
my
voice
dark
changer,
saber.
too.
Oh, you have the Darksaber too.
I do have the
Fuck
dark
is that?
saber.
You should've
even
brought
though
it.
I know it's gonna
See?
be.
You
I
Brought
know,
the
I
fucking
should've-
Theremin,
I
but
have
not
my
the Dark
Mandalorian costume too.
I should have brought it. That's a good
Let's
point.
do that next time.
For
For the Ahsoka opening.
So,
that'll be a good one.
I guess let's
Wrap
kind of
this up.
transition
Oh.
us to what
I
are
would
our
love-
big expectations going forward with Star Wars?
Whew, Ahsoka,
And-
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Ahsoka
can't
and
wait.
Thrawn.
More
Current,
warrior
present,
women.
Thrawn. I think
You know?
that's
One thing I will say is that this season did a good job of leaving us all wanting more,
yes.
and I
Thirsty
think
bitches,
that
all of
that
us.
says something, as opposed to, yeah, from the
Obviously,
dungeons,
we are in
loving the
love,
voice.
you know?
Yes.
loving the,
from the dungeon thing. Sweet's got the voice down.
Well, it is. That's Plagueis' voice.
It's Damask Holdings is looking to shore up our
I
alliances
think you
in
meant
the
the armor.
Outer
too,
Rim.
your
Oh, the armor. Oh,
impersonation.
yeah. She's always Din
Djarin.
Djarin.
Yeah.
Step forward. Present yourself. You are Mandalorian no longer. You must go to a place that is really hard to get
You're
to
going too
and
fast.
do this thing that you. It's really
No, she's like, you are a Mandalorian
no longer. Hells
No,
before you
big
go.
pause, yeah.
Hells before you go. You'll get the audiobook this week. We'll talk later.
Oh my god.
Hell's,
No
Hell's put
longer.
the most guesses in, and From the Dungeon already has
This
a book.
is the
so
way.
you get the book tonight.
I
Hells. Have a
love
good
that
night.
shit.
Is the way.
This
So-
is the way.
I can't wait for Ahsoka. We're also getting Tales of the Jedi season 2. If
Yes.
you guys have to watch those.
We're also
animes.
going to get Star Wars
Highly
Vision
recommend.
Season 2,
Visions,
which is the
actually
anime
soon.
show that each episode is like a different animation
Oh,
style.
yeah, I do like those.
Those
I
are
love it
cool.
when they get different
Anthology.
artists to tell the same story, but in different styles.
Definitely.
love
Animatrix was one of my favorites
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that reason.
Death, Sex, Death, and Robots.
Love, Death,
Love,
and
Death, and
Robots.
Robots.
Right.
The second season, the first season, and the third season, second season.
That sounds more accurate though. Sex, death, and robots. Sounds
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That sounds like Westworld.
Like reality.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
When the
Westworld,
robots
we're
take
heading.
over. Oh, my
We're
gosh.
going.
Beep, boop, boop, beep.
Will you go to Westworld? That's a whole other episode.
Would you go to Westworld? I mean, after seeing the show, probably not.
These violent delights have violent ends.
Dolores.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. I learned a lot.
Of course,
Hey,
yes.
so
Yeah,
Welcome,
it's a lot of
welcome
fun.
to the show.
Congratulations
Thank you so
on a
much
year of doing
coming
it.
on. Yeah.
Thank you.
Gotta do
Hey,
the thing, and
it's
thank you guys all
all-
for watching.
The people out there, it's all
Yes.
the guys that join us. We appreciate you guys to death. We
Absolutely.
overcome lots to get here. Actually, I
Lots
think
of
everyone's
technical
been
hurls, physical
ailments
hurdles.
and all
Gas-
sorts of shit. Yeah,
But did you
just-
die?
Yeah.
I didn't. So I'm here.
No,
Yeah,
no,
we're gonna make
no.
it done. We're gonna make it happen.
We're going strong. We're looking to build. We're not going to tell you to like, comment, subscribe because
If
you
you could,
probably
it'd be
did that
awesome.
already, but you should. Yeah.
Tell your friends.
Tell your
5
friends.
stars so they
Take
can
us home,
find us.
baby.
We're going to be
Thank you-
giving
thank
away
you
free
guys
books at the very
once
least.
again for tuning into the Break Room podcast. Thank you, Mandy, for joining us for this episode.
Get well, Joe.
Get well, Joe.
Get well, everybody. Get well,
Thank
me.
you, Joey Katana, for joining us as well, my little furry son.
13-year-old.
Rob, end with a Yoda
13.
quote, too. Give us a Yoda on the way out.
Control, control, you must learn control. The cave. Remember your failure at the cave.
Another.
There is another.
Gotta love
There
it.
is another. But thank you guys for tuning into the Break Room podcast. Snoochie Boochies, and may the force be with you.
The way.
This is the way.
It's just the way.